We'll start with JM Truth. Joshua, I believe it's Joshua Michael, right? Is that what you said it was last time?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, Joshua Michael. I want to say first off, I appreciate you coming in. This is, I believe, your third time to be on this channel, so and third time to involve yourself in this discussion, as far as I know. But I could be wrong. You could have done this before, but as me and Sean were talking about it before with you earlier, we have a horrible and huge problem in this community with people not showing up to debates that they say they want to do. They say, "Oh, you don't know this, and I can prove you wrong," and then they never show up. So, thank you very much for showing up. I'll give you a chance to introduce your channel, tell people a little bit about yourself and what you do. Go ahead.
Okay. My name is Joshua Michael. I own jmtruth.com and JMTruth TV on both Facebook and YouTube. I'm a 12-year military medically retired veteran from the United States Army and a
Cool. Like Team Skeptic said, my name's Shawn Hawkins. It's the name of my channel. You can click on my link or click on my icon in the chat and go to my channel, or he probably has a link to it. And yeah, go ahead.
Okay, guys, I am so sorry. Hold on. Let me Okay. So, Sean, again, we're gonna start over. Let me give you a third intro, and we'll get you started. Okay. So back
right.
to what I was saying. Shawn Hawkins is one of the most underrated debunkers on flat Earth. I've said this 3 times now, guys. Now I'm struggling to get it out. Yes, he's one of the best debunkers on flat Earth. He's one of the most underrated content creators, and I do believe that everybody here should go give him a watch, give him a thumbs up, and subscribe. I'm a failure when it comes to audio. I appreciate everybody pointing it out in the chat. All right, are they saying that I'm not being heard now? Okay, let me just do a mic check. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, you guys can, but okay, good deal. Now I'm seeing much better. Thanks. Team Skeptic is gold. Sean is great. Yes, he is. Gary IOW. Now, as far as the super chats go, RapidX just dropped one, but we're gonna wait until the very end to do the super chats, and who knows, maybe we'll go ahead and get a "my buddy's an idiot" in. But let's go ahead and start now. Sean, introduce yourself and introduce your channel, and we'll get started.
You can click on my link or click on the thing. What he said. I don't really have anything else to add to it. Been doing this for about a year. Like what I do, it's cathartic to me. This is like therapy. And yeah, that's about it. I'm done.
Okay, great. So here's the format. We're going to start with Shawn Hawkins. Shawn Hawkins is going to provide positive proof for his beliefs, which is that we live on a globe, right? I mean, that's what you think, Sean, right? We live on a globe,
Yes, sir.
and that's what you're here to debate, correct?
Absolutely.
All right, we're going to start with that. We're going to move to JM Truth. He'll get 10 minutes on his end, and then we'll go to a refutation of each other's points, 10 minutes, and then we'll finish off with a 45-minute just discussion. Okay? Sean, the time will start once you begin speaking.
All right. I just have a few observable, irrefutable, undeniable, demonstrable facts. The angles to Polaris. No matter what latitude you're standing at, when you north of the equator, you look up above you, see where Polaris is. That matches your latitude. That geometry is only available to be put on a globe. I have a video. We can get a link to it. But I've shown you the link, man. You've seen it. And that geometry is not, you can't do that on a flat Earth. It doesn't match. None of the points point to the same place. Basically, it shows Polaris being 6 feet off the ground in one example, and you can't have that. So that's one. Circular star trails, as well as circular star trails in the southern hemisphere, prove spin. The fact that they spin in opposite directions proves spin. The fact that they're circular. Star trails on a flat Earth where the stars are spinning overhead, the further you went off from center, like at the North Pole looking up, you're looking at a circle from an angle. And that's an oval. We never see oval star trails. Also, an equatorial telescope couldn't track stars on a flat Earth. It uses the rotational axis of the Earth. It matches it, duplicates it, but in reverse to compensate for the spin of the Earth. And it only tracks anything in one axis. That can't happen on a flat Earth. You would have to go off axis in one of the two axes to be able to track anything on a flat Earth. The fact that the sun rises and sets, goes below the horizon. The geometry doesn't add up for a 3,000 mile overhead sun to go below our feet. It does not match up. You cannot make it work. The laws of perspective state it won't. Parallel lines don't cross. What else? We have photographic proof. Any photograph taken from space by whatever space agency makes it through photoforensics just fine. Now, if it's a low resolution image, yeah, then you can see artifacts. But if you get the original high resolution photography from whatever agency, you can get it online, and you put that through photoforensics, it proves that they're real photographs. I don't know. That's all I have, really. Not much.
All right. Well, give me 1 second, and we'll get. Oh, that was pretty quick there, Shawn.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and stop
We'll
the
play
timer.
it by ear and later. We'll do
Okay.
it.
Great. JM Truth, are you ready?
I am. Just give me a second here. What do I need to do to present my screen?
Let me take care of that for you.
Okay.
Okay. You should be. I think you're or maybe you got to do it on your end. From the Hangouts, it might be under the. Yeah, it's under the 3 dots at the top right. Just go share screen.
Share screen. Okay.
Yeah, and it's already set up for you to.
Okay. Awesome.
Now I just want to present.
Oh, can I interrupt just for a second? I'm sorry.
Yes. You still have time.
That,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I actually no. That wasn't part of it. Never mind.
Okay.
Carry on.
All right. So, JM, let me make sure that you.
Are you seeing my screen?
I am. Yes. Shawn,
Okay.
Are you seeing it? Just to make sure that you're catching everything.
Should say flat Earth versus round Earth scientific debate.
Yes.
Okay.
Shawn, do you see that?
Yes, I do. I see it when he talks.
Okay. Oh.
Oh.
I don't know how to I don't know how to lock it because I'm not using the.
Actually, I got it locked. There you go. I locked it on my end.
Let me. How do you lock it on? Let me
You
lock
click on the icon.
Okay. Oh yeah. So you're locked on my end, so the people are seeing that. Go ahead, James.
Yeah.
You're good to go. As soon as you begin speaking, that's when your timer will start.
Okay. Okay. So I'm actually going to skip through all this stuff in case if I need it, I'll come back to it. First, let's talk about the mass gravity hoax. Okay. From Princeton, Martin Rees, FRS. He's fellow of the Royal Society, Astronomer Royal, esteemed British cosmologist and astrophysicist with a PhD. What causes gravity and mass? Is the universe infinite? How did atoms assemble on at least one planet around at least one star? These questions still baffle us today. So we don't have it figured out. Rather than the end of science being nigh, we are still near the beginning of the cosmic quest. Now, he was asked, according to Professor Rees, who was asked, does mass attracting mass cause gravity? Nope. Okay, so according to Professor Reese, does space-time, or the bending of space-time actually is what it said. That's a misspell on my part. Cause gravity? Nope. So Professor Reese must have missed the class on gravity. My bad. I'm going to skip this unless I need it. Okay, so I'm going to present some documents here. The first one I've talked about, you've heard me talk about, it's publication 1207. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm just going to go through the highlights. There's the links there, and if you want to go look them up, you can. Okay, page 30 and 108, aircraft flying over a flat, non-rotating Earth. This is an official NASA document. Document 2, technical paper 2768. Page 12, aircraft flying over a stationary atmosphere. Oh, no Coriolis. Flat, non-rotating Earth. Document number 3, technical paper 2835. Okay. Oh, look, stationary atmosphere, no Coriolis, flat, non-rotating Earth. NASA technical memorandum TX 2514. Oh, look, flat, non-rotating Earth. Oh, look, again on page 2, flat, non-rotating Earth. NASA contractor report. Oh, look, on page 11, stationary atmosphere, no Coriolis, flat, non-rotating Earth. NASA contractor report 4568, page 14. Problem of flight in a vacuum over a flat Earth are presented. General equations for motion for damaged asymmetric aircraft. Page 2, a flat, non-rotating Earth. NASA contract report 3073, page 6. Oh, look, the Earth is flat and 0 rotating and non-rotating, no Coriolis. Technical memorandum 81238. This is a helicopter report, page 17. Flat, non-rotating Earth. Atmospheric oscillation, page 10. Flat, non-rotating Earth. Document 11. Stability and control elimination estimation flight test results for the SR-71 Blackbird aircraft with externally mounted experiment. Excuse me, my mouth is dry. Page 11. Oh, look, flat, non-rotating. NASA technical memorandum 100996. Page 5. Oh, look, flat, non-rotating. 13. Technical note, a method for reducing the sensitivity of optimal nonlinear system for parameter uncertainty. Sorry. Page 12, flat, non-rotating. NASA, singularity arc time, optimal climb trajectory of an aircraft in a two-dimensional wind field. Page 2, look, problem, vertical plane, non-rotating, flat Earth. NASA technical note D645. Oh, look, page 7. The missile position in space is computed relative to a flat, non-rotating Earth. Oh, look, the FAA flight dynamics summary. Flat Earth, the Earth's curvature is 0. There is a non-rotating Earth. No Coriolis accelerations are present. And we've gone over FM 640. Here in the center section, it says no rotation of Earth. NASA's International Space Station, factor fiction. These are all the temperatures of all of the elements that are on the space station. The thermosphere is upwards of 4,000 degrees. It is impossible for that space station to be there even in the vacuum of space, because once light hits it, it then heats up. So regardless of it being in a vacuum or not, once light hit the matter, which would be the space station, it would cook and should cook actually the people inside. When we talk about, well, we've already talked about the 8-foot concrete wall. The internal space station images are CGI and 3D holographic images. The one on top is actually a computer graphic image. I've actually, in my computer, taken it apart, pulled apart the pieces. It's not a photograph. It is a CGI. The one in the middle, the black one, is actually a holographic image. It is not solid, and it is transparent. Here on the bottom is also a picture of the International Space Station in front of a green screen. So image on top is not a photograph. Images are CGI and holographic images. Now, to prove holographic images, this is a high school with a bunch of, not high school, I'm sorry, an elementary school with a bunch of children watching a whale pop out of their basketball court. Okay, that is proof that we do have this technology. International Space Station. The average adult, when resting, inhales and exhales 7 to 8 liters of air per minute. The total's about 11,000 liters of air per day. Inhaled air is about 20% oxygen. We exhale about 15%. There's an average of 6 to 7 astronauts on the ISS at any given time, 77,000 liters a day. In just 1 week, you would need 539,000 liters of air. In 1 year, you need 28,105,000 liters of air. Air is not only just oxygen, by the way. You can't breathe pure oxygen. You will die. That is that's a biological fact. There is no machine able to mix these mixtures in the same consistency we have here on Earth. NASA would need a payload of gas that far exceeds the payload of any that the ISS is capable of. Besides, they also say that they turn it back into liquid oxygen. So let's jump down to the third section. Hydrogen must be dumped. The top 2 paragraphs are explaining about getting you down, removing the hydrogen from the water. Okay, hydrogen must be dumped because it is useless on the space station. You only have a third of the matter then at that time. What must you then do to store the oxygen? Anyone know? You've got to turn that oxygen back into a liquid. We won't even talk about that heating and cooling process because the space station has nowhere to off that heat, like a heat sink. That heat has nowhere to go. You cannot get rid of it in the vacuum of space. I still need to see the manifest for the ISS. I won't even talk about that unless it comes up. These are some proofs. The horizon always raises to eye level. Period. We've got pictures from hundreds of thousands of feet in the air. The Ares failure proves that the stars are moving overhead, that the Earth is not moving, because that test would not have been possible if the Earth itself were moving. Obler's paradox also states that if the sky or the night sky is infinite and stars are all throughout the night sky, you would actually never have any black spot in space because the entire night sky would be filled up with light from the stars. Let's see. Also, planes. I've got colonels and all kinds of pilots that have testified to the fact that planes do not take into account the Coriolis or curvature. In fact, I'm going to be directing a film right now, and I have a colonel who is a fighter pilot, and a commercial pilot who will testify and understands all the systems, how they work, and will testify to the fact that there is no such thing as a plane that takes into account the curvature of the Earth. That's just a fallacy that they tell you to supplement their lie. Okay, also, the Nile River only drops about 1 foot in the Congo River, and they would have to be going uphill part of that time if the Earth was in fact curved, because the Nile River is thousands of feet long. What else? The Michelin-Morley experiments attempted. What's our time at?
55 seconds.
Okay. Attempted to measure and change the speed of light due to the Earth's assumed motion through space. After measuring in every possible different direction, in various locations, they failed to detect any significant change whatsoever. Again, proving the stationary geocentric model. And I will hand back over the time.
Okay. Let me stop it there.
Let me
reset my things. Now, we're going to, I believe, Shawn is going to refute your points at this point. Shawn, you have 10 minutes. Have you been taking notes?
No, but got the gist of it.
Okay. You have 10 minutes. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go.
All right. The stuff about NASA with the flat and stationary Earth, that is datum. Those are simulations, basically. That's formulas that they're working on for, judging from the logo, what the logo looked like. You know, the 90s logo. Those are taken from when the space shuttle was in its infancy. They were taking a lot of the rigid body experimentation from the SR-71. They don't want a whole lot of extra data to get in the way of the simulations just getting it to land, because a rigid body is a little more difficult than a wing, right? So they basically eliminate those variables to make everything else easier to calculate. Once they got those calculations done, then they incorporate the rest of the stuff. But they really don't need to incorporate the rest of the stuff because that's what they encounter in real life. And normally the flights that you're taking, you don't have to worry about, like with test flights, you don't have to worry about the curve of the Earth or the Coriolis. Okay. Now the whale, that's what do you call it? Not AI. What do you call it? Where you look through your phone and it shows it maps out the environment you're looking at. It's not virtual reality. Stuck for words. Help me out.
It's a holographic image.
No, it wasn't holographic. It was a graphic.
They admit it's a holographic image.
No, they don't.
My bad. Yep.
It's not AI. What word am I looking for? Augmented reality. It's AR, augmented reality. They took a picture or took a video of this gym. They mapped out where the floor was, and they played a video of a whale coming out of the water. That's not a hologram. A hologram is done with lasers. That was just composites. That was a video composite of a whale put over. Yeah, dude, it's. Anyway, right now I'd like to go ahead and put the that video link, that screenshot up.
Okay, give me 1 second. Go ahead and keep going, and I'll pull that up for you.
Okay. Now with all these quotes and stuff that you seem to pull off the internet, you have a sort of a difficulty with honesty. You seem to think it's okay to manipulate or add to a quote to prove your point.
Prove that I'm doing that. Don't accuse me.
JM, please let him finish. Let him finish. You'll get your chance to refute him. Don't worry.
See, you told me that you didn't alter the quote. You made it correct. And that's intellectual dishonesty. So you've proven that. You quote mine, you pick quotes, and you only pick the parts of the quotes that suit your purpose. And if you're going to quote NASA on one set of data, you have to take what NASA says for everything else. You can't quote part of an organization. If it suits you, that's called quote mining. That's called cherry picking. And you seem to do that. That seems to be your only backup. Now, for the rest of it, we can go through it item by item if you want. And we can do that in the 45-minute, but
okay, are you ready? I'm waiting for you. Are you ready for me to play that video?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me
you
one
just need
second.
a screenshot.
A screenshot or the whole video?
Or just the video at the timestamp.
Oh, what? Oh, I didn't get I guess that's okay. Yeah. So let me.
About the 15-minute mark, something like that.
Oh, 15. Okay, I had it at 3 because I'd seen the video, so I guess I put it at a previous time. Can you look and just see what the timestamp is real quick for me? Because I'm on the video.
Let me check. 5:48.
5:48. Okay.
Around there.
Yes, I got it. Give me 1 second, and I'll bring this in for the audience to see. You're not going to see it on my screen, Shawn, but you already know it on your screen, so they can see what you're looking at.
If you read down there where it says the word gravity, so you're quoting an article that cites gravity. All right? Can you see that?
Nope.
Well, you know it's there. See
I'm not
what's
sure what
added
you're
in
referring to.
parentheses? See what's added in parentheses? Can everyone see that?
Nope. Nothing's
it says, yeah, you won't be able to see it. It says, let me read what's actually on the screen.
Thank you.
It says a gas, excuse me, a gas is a sample of matter that conforms to the shape of a container in which it is held and acquires a uniform density inside the container, even in the presence of gravity, even if fairy tale gravity existed, and regardless of the amount of substance in the container.
Even if fairy tale gravity existed, is that in the original article?
No, but I actually made a
it's
point.
not.
No, wait. I made the point that was my add-in. I actually showed on the
Hold
screen.
on, hold on,
being
hold on.
intellectually
No,
honest,
no, no, no,
I
no,
showed
no,
us
no, no.
what I
Time
actually
out.
said.
You
Everybody be
cannot
quiet.
change.
Hey, hey.
Don't call me a
hey,
liar.
Yes.
Tell the truth.
JM, stop now. This isn't going to go on. I'm going to mute you. This is his 10 minutes. Let him get his 10 minutes. You will get your 10 minutes to refute his points, and then you guys will both be able to discuss this in your 45 minutes. Can you please mute yourself? If you can't control yourself, just mute yourself and wait for me to unmute you, or wait for me to say, okay, your turn, JM, okay? All right, Shawn, we'll go ahead and add about another 30 seconds to your time. That puts you at 4 minutes left before we shut it down.
Okay. Yeah, once you add something to a quote, it no longer makes it a valid quote. No longer makes it something you can trust. You have a problem with credibility, dude. In your video about science and pseudoscience, you completely leave out parts of the article that you quoted or that you cited that completely disprove what you say about it. You say that sciences aren't science, they're pseudoscience because they don't follow the scientific method, but they do. The thing you said about Michelson-Morley. Michelson-Morley was not about the rotation of the Earth. Michelson-Morley was about the ether, which they disproved with that. Even Einstein, who was a proponent of the ether, agreed that it was no longer valid. Now, Einstein also said, I think you quote mined him saying that you can't prove curvature, you can't prove rotation. Einstein said you can't prove rotation. Well, if you would have gone past the ... you would have seen by mechanical means. So you have a problem with that. Planes don't need to correct for curvature. Planes, all they need to do is fly a straight or a flat level path or a level path. Their angle of attack, the instruments on board, the artificial horizon, the onboard gyros, they take care of that. So, and I really don't know what else you were talking about, but I'll yield my time back.
Okay, now give me 1 second, guys, so I can reset the timer. Hey, JM, you can unmute yourself. Not trying to be rude or anything, but man, I need during his 10 minutes, he needs to get his 10 minutes. And Shawn, I ask that you do the same. If you'll just mute yourself for the next 10 minutes, so we don't have to worry about any emotional jump-ins, even though I don't think that would occur. I just don't want it to happen. All right. So JM, your time starts as soon as you start talking, and it goes for. Let me make sure that the audience can hear me because I don't think they can actually. Oh, yeah, they can. Okay, good. JM, we're going to start your time as soon as you start talking. So give me 1 second to put the camera back on you. All right, and go ahead and start when you're ready.
Okay, first of all, I made it very clear where I inserted my opinion, but I showed the quote on the screen as I took it off the internet. Please do not ever accuse me of not being intellectually honest. With a degree and a graduate degree, I have to be intellectually honest. Otherwise, I have doctors come at me and accuse me of not being intellectually honest. So you accusing me of not being intellectually honest does nothing to me. Okay? You don't even know what that means after the 2 hit pieces you done on me. So please, let's not go there. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and share my screen.
Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah. Are you able to see my...
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. The reason I said all these other sciences were pseudosciences because the so-called sciences on the right can't perform experiments. They can't even... Then the last 6 can't perform a hypothesis. Okay, it's been proven they are not sciences. So I'm not even going to debate it. I'm not going to argue with you. If you can show me one example of a legitimate hypothesis and a legitimate experiment, then we'll discuss it. But until then, we're not going to. Okay, gravity is an effect. Now, Newton's gravity and Einstein's gravity were not the same. Newton's gravity is an invisible force, according to George Mercer, Scientific American, November 1st, 2015. Okay, it's also instantaneous action at a distance. It's also Euclidean 3 space, and there's no null hypothesis. Newton never made a hypothesis, let alone a null hypothesis. Einstein's gravity was not a force by Einstein's own admission. Okay, Einsteinian gravity is limited to the speed of light, which instantly disqualifies it because they never tested it. Ever. You couldn't test it, and he has no null hypothesis. It's pseudo-Riemannian force space. Folks, these are not even the same geometry. They are not the same force by the own founders' own words. Okay, so let's stop arguing about stuff that they themselves did not agree were the same thing. Okay, plus it has no mathematical equation. On the far right, electrostatic force is Coulomb's law. If you look at the top, universal gravity stole that from Coulomb's law because Coulomb's law was actually established first. You cannot have two mathematical equations proving the same force, proving two different forces, or the same mathematical equation proving two different forces. It violates the scientific law, mathematical equation law. I already read that. We won't deal with that. Coriolis, I've already debunked Coriolis. I think it's interesting that you want to put your own spin on NASA's documents and thereby narrate and explain what they've already said in their documentation. These documents, by the way, already went before Congress. It's not a simulation. The SR-71 Blackbird is not a simulation. It was a document that they got proved so they could approve building that aircraft, or not build the aircraft, but do experiments on the aircraft. They have to present the truth, the real truth, to Congress when they get funded. Okay? Why would, if in fact the Earth is spinning, why would their documentation say 0? The only answer you can come up with is blah, blah, blah. I don't know, because there is no answer. There is no simulation. Yes, some of those documents were old. Some of those documents were modern. Okay, so they're not all the old space station. They're not They're not all the old space agency. Okay, so you apparently can't debunk them other than give some kind of a silly explanation that you have no clue about. I assume you're not a pilot, so how would you know, if you're not even a pilot, anything about planes? I've studied for my pilot's license. I dropped it because I went and did other things, but okay, doesn't make me an expert on flying. But a colonel that comes to me and says, hey, there's no curvature of the Earth. We don't adjust for curvature. The plane doesn't adjust for curvature. He's a field matter expert. But you want to explain away a full bird colonel, which is ridiculousness and plain stupidity in my book. I yield back my time.
Okay, give me 1 second to stop the timer. All right, now can you guys hear me? Just to make sure.
Yep.
Okay, give me 1 second to get the 45 minutes started. All right, now we're gonna go 45 minutes, and we're gonna stop on the dot when the 45 minutes gets up, and we're gonna call it we'll let everybody finish their points, and then we'll call it a night at that. But the only time I'm going to interject during this time is to keep you guys on track. I'm going to step away. There's so much I want to say right now, but I'm not. I'm going to withhold my tongue and bite it as hard as I can and let Shawn Hawkins do what I believe he's perfectly capable of doing. And JM, you brought up some good points. So Shawn Hawkins, JM, I'm going to step away and let y'all get started. And the only time I'll jump in is if it starts going in a direction I don't like, okay?
Yeah, got it.
All right, time starts now.
So I've got a question for you.
Okay.
What's an image?
An image is a composite of multiple images. An image is a composite of different elements.
Cite a source for that, please. Please cite your proof for that. Because an image is what's recorded on film or a sensor. That's what an image is. An image is what you see through the viewfinder. The image is what you record.
Well, in a general sense, yeah, I can agree with that.
In a complete sense.
No. In a sense, because if I also take a composite image of multiple elements and add them together, and it's called an image.
Right, it's called a composite image.
Okay.
and
But
it's
it's still
called
called
an
a
image.
composite image.
So an image can be a non-composite, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
I never
Glad
said
we
it
got
couldn't.
that cleared up.
I never said it
You
couldn't.
seem to be under the impression that an image is not a photograph. A photograph isn't an image. You
No,
seem to not understand your terminology.
a photograph can be an image. When I talk about image, for most people that know me, know when I talk about an image, I'm not talking about a photograph. I'm very specific. When I say photograph, I'm talking about a photograph. When I talk about an image, most people know I'm usually talking about a computer generated image or a composite.
Right.
Although, yes, an image by definition. Huh?
That's not what you said. You made it clear under no certain terms that an image was not at all like a photograph.
Okay, well, let me clarify.
And composite was asked of you, and you said no, it's image. That's what an image is. It's a composite. That's what you kept saying. So you don't know what you're talking about
just
with
because
photography or light theory. You don't know what you're talking about with that.
Look, I've done photography and videography for many years, dude. So you better not even go there, because I've been a director, a cinematographer. I've been an executive producer. I've owned 3 film companies. So you're talking out your ass at this point.
So owning a film company, being able to point a camera doesn't make you knowledgeable about what you're talking about.
Having a degree in film does.
No, it doesn't. You don't have a degree in film, man.
I have a degree in film. Yes, I do.
Evergreen University does not give named degrees. They give a degree in science or a Bachelor of Arts degree.
My Bachelor of Arts degree is in film production.
Right. That's what you added to it. That was your specialty. You didn't major in that. That's not a degree. They don't give those types of degrees out at Evergreen University.
You have no clue what you're talking about. You have no clue what you're talking about. You have no clue what you're talking about.
Well, I looked it up.
You still have no clue what you're talking about.
They do not offer named degrees. That's on their front page.
That is irrelevant to the fact that my field of study was film production.
When they don't offer a degree in that.
That was on my transcript. It's film production there, bud. Okay.
Because that was the
on my transcript. It says film production.
Okay. So how does that make you know about photography? Because you didn't know the difference between an image and a photograph.
No, I did. Man. No, I did. Just because
you don't know how to analyze a photograph. You don't analyze a photograph in Photoshop.
Dude, you're a freaking idiot. Yes, you do.
No, I'm not an idiot.
Yeah, go talk to any forensic analyst, and they'll tell you Photoshop is one of the softwares they use. Absolutely, it is.
Right.
In fact, Adobe has a contract with the federal government and the police. So that's
because they use their software.
That's because they use their software for forensic evidence forensic analysis.
They use software like is on the website, photo forensics. That's what they use for forensics. For Photoshop, they just compile shit. Yes, absolutely. There was a debate or a hangout done with the guy.
I've already talked to multiple forensic experts about this, and you're wrong. I've already talked to.
Your experts don't mean really don't know what they're talking about.
When my experts are sheriffs and police officers, yeah, I think they do.
Okay, and they've never heard of photo forensics.
They've heard of photo forensics, but they also use Photoshop.
Right, they use it, but they don't analyze photographs with it.
They do use it to analyze photographs and tear them apart.
Not the validity of the originality.
All right, I'm not going to argue this with you. You don't even understand what you're talking about. So move on to something else.
What makes you say I don't know what I'm talking about?
Because I've already got witnesses that testify that are actually in the field of forensics who say you're a lunatic by saying what you're saying. You don't even know what you're saying.
Well, I mean, what makes them think I don't know what I'm saying?
I use Photoshop to pull apart photos, and you're still, no, they don't. You sound like an idiot. It's not even educated. It's your opinion.
No, it's not my opinion. It's my professional opinion.
You don't have a professional opinion.
Yeah, I do.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I was I was in the Army for 6.5 years as a U.S. Army still photographer.
Ooh.
Army trained.
Okay. Oh.
How long were you in the military for?
12 years. Combat deployed.
2 years, wasn't it?
12 years. Combat deployed.
12. You were in for 12 years.
I have 12 years combat deployed. Yes.
Okay. And I've got 35 years experience in photography. So yeah, I know a little bit about what I'm talking about, and you don't know anything you're talking about as it pertains to photography. You
Okay,
showed me that.
you're an idiot then, because
You
I've taken
showed me that.
thousands of photographs as a photographer. So keep talking. You haven't
You've
proven
taken
shit.
thousands of photographs as a photographer.
I've taken thousands of photographs as a photographer. Yes.
That's awesome. I took thousands of photographs in school.
I'm not here to measure my dick with you, dude. Get to the point.
You're the one who said I didn't know what I'm talking about when
You
it comes
don't.
to
You sound like an
photography.
idiot when you talk about forensic analysis.
No, because that's how things are done, man. There's a website called Photo Forensics, and you run a photograph through it. You take photographs you get from NASA that you say are fake, and you put them through the website. You put them through the algorithm, and it tells you if they've been tampered with. And I guarantee anyone who says fake,
I don't need to do that. I can take them
real.
apart myself.
No, you can't trust yourself when it comes to that kind of detail.
Absolutely, you can. If a forensic expert can sit down and do it themselves, I can do it.
And they do it with photo forensics.
I can
They
also
do
put
it
them together.
with a computer
I've
that
put together
lets them know,
lots
that
and lots of
analyzes
composite
each
images. I understand how
pixel.
they're put together, dude.
No, you don't.
I
No, you don't, man.
Okay.
You're proving it.
All right.
Okay, you still haven't broken down why the angles to Polaris don't match up. Explain that, please.
What do you
Explain
mean by the angles of Polaris don't match up?
Yeah, explain how the angles to Polaris.
You explain how angles of
equaling-
Polaris.
I already did. Equaling the
No, you didn't.
the
You just said
latitude
it.
lines. How does that work on a flat Earth?
I'm not sure what your question is.
How do the angles to Polaris based on your latitude?
Are you
How
talking
does
about that
that work on a
sometimes
flat
Polaris
Earth?
looks like it's 6 feet from the horizon? Is that what you're saying?
Right. How is that possible on a flat Earth?
Because
Or
it's
on
called
anywhere?
perspective. It's
No.
called perspective and atmospheric lensing. Bends the image.
No, I'm sorry. Atmospheric lensing
The
is not
distance-
real.
You wait.
Atmospheric lensing is not real.
You're
No.
not a photographer. You're an idiot. Atmospheric lensing is not real. Are you fucking kidding me right now?
Fiction. It's fiction.
It is not fiction. I can go and prove it. It's been proven. The atmosphere acts as a lens. How is it you don't know this, Mr. Photographer? I've trained.
Okay, hey, listen.
Okay,
since
Really?
hold on, hey, listen, guys. Try to keep the let's try to keep it all towards shape of the Earth and the arguments involving that. I understand that atmospheric lensing does play a part in that, but when we're trying to
Not according to him.
when we're trying to fight off on a topic of photographic, who has the better photograph experience, let's try to keep it to just.
Let's keep it to science facts.
Science, exactly. Please and thank you.
Yeah.
So, how does atmospheric lensing take the sun that's 3,000 miles over your head and put it below your feet? Please explain that.
It's not 3,000 miles over your head, first of all. So what?
Well,
NASA, how did NASA measure that? I'm curious how NASA measured that. I think you said they measured it with radar, which actually you can't measure that distance with radar, but
cite your source that you can't measure radar at that distance.
cite your source if you can. I don't have to cite shit. You're the one that said publicly that they did it with radar. Show me where they did it with radar. Otherwise, you're talking out your ass again.
It's the way they did it, dude.
Show me.
Okay.
So I don't have to come here and prove
I'm using this brand new revolutionary thing called Google.
Yeah, let's hurl more insults there, buddy. Good job.
Yeah, what they did was they we knew when Venus was going to be alongside of the sun. We know how long it takes to orbit. So you wait till it's at its maximum distance to the right or left, wherever they went. You measure the distance to Venus with radar, and then you just do the math, dude. Yeah.
Again, mathematical equation solves everything. No actual physical proof, no actual physical testing. You did a mathematical equation. You do realize that not all math. In fact, do you even realize math doesn't prove anything? Math is a expressive language to try to explain something, but math itself is not a proof. It can only give you the how. It can't give you the why or what.
Right. Math describes what we see.
Well,
math describes
sort of,
what we experience, what we see, how the world works.
when it's done right, when it's not manipulated. Sure.
Yeah.
But I just showed you how the mathematical equation for gravity was stolen from Coulomb's law.
No, sorry. Whether you like to believe it, whether you want
It's
to
not a matter
admit
of
it or
belief.
not, but
It's not a matter of
the
belief. You
gravity
cannot have two
experiment is
mathematical
real.
equations that explain the same phenomenon. That's science 101, bro. So come at me with something else, I guess. Keep trying.
You still haven't explained how the angles to Polaris
I don't need
work
to.
on a flat Earth.
I don't need to. You need to explain how they work on a round Earth.
I just did, man. I explained it. You want me to go through it again?
I just explained it to you too, but you blew me off. So I did explain it to you.
Right. Gravitation or atmospheric lensing. No, that doesn't work.
Absolutely it does.
That doesn't make something go from however high over your head to below your feet. Won't work.
No, but also perspective does.
No, it doesn't.
And atmospheric lensing.
No.
Absolutely it does.
Because light does not allow that.
You understand the simple physics that light does not travel forever, correct? Or are you of the mind that light does travel forever?
Yes, light travels as far as space will let it.
Okay, so let's do this experiment. Take a flashlight out to your garage and start walking away from the garage. At some point, the light from the flashlight will no longer be hitting that garage.
You know why?
Oh, please do tell.
Because there's stuff in the air that blocks it.
Right, that's called atmospheric lensing.
No, that's not. That's called atmosphere.
Well, okay, but atmosphere is part of atmospheric lensing. Water, H2O, the moisture that's in the air is what causes atmospheric lensing.
No, it doesn't, dude.
You need to go look up atmospheric lensing. I can't believe I'm here talking to somebody that does not even admit atmospheric lensing is a real thing. Like, that just boggles my mind. Especially that you're a photographer with as many years of experience as you say you have. How do you not know atmosphere bends light or warps light, bends light, manipulates light? I don't get it. And I'm the one that doesn't have any photography experience. Okay.
Atmospheric lensing. This is the first result that comes up. A phenomenon employed by proponents of the flat Earth theory to explain problems with perspective models. Yeah,
that's actually a proof that they change and manipulate stuff on the internet. Because atmospheric lensing has been something. Atmospheric lensing has been around for many years, dude.
Perspective does not allow something that's over your head to go below your feet.
That is not true. That is not true. If you look at perspective, everything goes to a point. Okay, so once you get beyond that point, and once you get beyond your eyes, it automatically is going to look like it goes down. When it in fact doesn't go down, it just gets far enough away that you can't see it.
Do you know where the vanishing point is when you're looking out at the ocean?
It's about 3 miles from your head, approximately.
Where in relationship to the horizon?
The vanishing point is the horizon.
No, it's not.
No, it is.
No, if you take a photograph with buildings on the seashore, you project the lines, the perspective lines from the buildings to the horizon, and they meet a little bit above it. You know why? Because the bottom of those points is sloped away, is curved. Everything else is straight. But the floor is curved down.
That is ridiculous. When I have photographs at 120,000 feet, and the image is still at eye level.
No, it isn't.
It is, and the little bit of drop that you say exists is absolutely ridiculous for the curve of 8 inches times mile squared.
No, it's proven.
No, it doesn't prove it.
Yes, it is.
When I can take a photograph at 200 miles. There's no curve, dude. When I can take a photograph at 150 miles.
Why can't I take a picture of Hawaii from California?
Because it's too far.
Even if I go, I don't know, 2,000 feet in the air?
If I take a video, and I've done this, of boats going quote unquote over the horizon, and then I zoom back in on them, you can't do that on a curve. You completely negate the mathematical equation already established, 8 inches times mile squared.
That's actually not for curvature. That's for parabola.
For 50, 60, 70. an image
For short
doesn't
distances,
curve.
it works. But what happens when those boats actually go over the horizon when you're zoomed in on them? What
They
do you do
don't.
then? Yeah, they do. They most certainly do.
Dude, I've had people take photographs with 2,400 millimeter lenses with distances that are almost uncalculatable. There is no curve. You should be behind miles of curvature.
No, so you're using the formula for a parabola. That 8 miles per square,
so 8 inches times mile squared, you're denouncing that now?
That's for a parabola. That's not
that's
for the curvature of the Earth.
Go look it up on the NASA website. It's curvature of the Earth, brother. It's always been curvature of the Earth.
Now, a better source would be Walter Bislin's Advanced Curve Calculator. That's a lot better because
that one actually changes. He's changed that several times.
Right, you can actually change between what something should look like on a flat Earth to what it actually looks like on a curved Earth.
So how do you explain a stationary Polaris? Because wait, before you answer, we're spinning. Oh no, it absolutely is stationary.
No,
it's been used for thousands of years in navigation. Are you kidding me right now?
It makes a teeny little circle as the Earth rotates. It makes a teeny little circle.
For all practical purposes, I'm not even going to argue that little point. It's still stationary.
No, it's actually moved over the centuries. It has
not.
It's never. Chinese, the Greeks mapped it.
Nobody has ever mapped Polaris moving ever. That is an absolute fabrication. It's a lie.
Yes, they have. I don't care what you think they have.
Show me. Prove it. They've used it for thousands of years in navigation. Never changed.
They use the star in the north. They use Polaris. The star that's at the North Pole, but it's not always been Polaris. It shares it with seven other. That
is NASA garbage, dude. That is not.
No, that's astrophotography. That was known way before NASA.
Garbage. Never been proven.
Known way before NASA.
Never been proven. No, it has not.
Yes, it has, dude.
Oh my God.
It has been proven. You're just in denial, man.
Prove it.
You're just denying.
Prove it. I'm sitting here. Prove it. And don't give me some article from NASA or government agency.
I'm not giving you here's earthsky.org.
And why are they credible?
Because they're credible, because they can back up what they say with facts and proof.
So can NASA. Allegedly.
Right. And you quote NASA.
I've just showed you 15 documents of NASA saying the Earth is stationary, flat, zero curve.
Right, that you misunderstood.
No, you misunderstand.
You completely misunderstood.
I understood perfectly because I got validation
man.
on the documents.
You're a cherry-picking quote miner. I've proved it. Oh, my God.
You didn't prove jack, dude. You don't even know what you're talking about.
Well, post the links in the chat. Let people look for themselves.
All the quotes are right there in the video. They're welcome to go look.
Hey, sorry, can y'all address each other's arguments, just to get it back on track a little bit?
But I mean, I can't prove it sitting here talking to you. But the data
we shouldn't even be arguing about it then.
Data that they've recorded over the centuries, since way back.
Again, you're assuming have you gone and tested it yourself?
Have you tested? Do you know? You ever been to Cleveland?
Have I ever been to Cleveland? No, not that I know of.
You know it's real. You ever been there to actually test whether the roads are solid? Would you be comfortable in using a map to get there?
Sure.
Why? You haven't been there. You didn't make the map, did you?
No, but I've used maps enough to know how they work.
Okay, well.
I guess when I get to Cleveland and it's not there, I guess I know it's not real.
They've been recording the path of Polaris for long enough for me to know that it's correct.
That is a scientific issue that you're assuming is correct, like you assume NASA to be correct. But when I've dismantled hundreds of photos from NASA, I've dismantled hundreds of video from NASA, and I am a subject matter expert in the field, then I think I know what I'm talking about when I say, hey, look, you don't have one photograph. NASA's admitted they don't have one photograph of any planet. They're all computer generated images, all of them. You can go on the NASA website, look at them. You have never seen a picture of Earth from space. It's computer generated.
No, it's not.
Don't tell me
They actually had a non-secular
who's
hangout
a
where they
subject
proved
matter
that.
expert in this field what is and isn't a computer generated image when I make them and I dismantle them all the time.
You're not an expert in photography, dude.
I am
Trust
an
me.
expert in photography.
No, you're
I'm
not.
an expert
No,
in
you're not, because you
computer-generated
don't
imagery.
use the right tools.
Dude, I have all of the tools. Are you kidding me? I have $40,000. I have $40,000 worth of tools there, genius.
How much?
Hey,
how many of those
guys,
photographs?
arguments
How
only.
many of those photographs did you run through Photo Forensics website?
None. I didn't need to.
Okay,
I
there
have
you
the
go.
expertise to be able to tear them apart.
No,
I don't need.
I mean, the guy that runs the website
people like you
says
that are
we don't have
brainwashed.
the
Oh,
expertise.
photo
That's why he
forensic
created the
website, and you're trusting an algorithm to tell you whether it's true or not. You don't have the skill to take a photograph and tear it apart, and to tell yourself whether it's real or not. Are you kidding me? You don't need a website to do that. Skilled people know how to do that. I was trained how to do that. Thank you. I know how to do it.
Skilled people know how to use the tools presented, and that's one of the
I
tools.
I don't need a forensic software to tell me whether something is real or not.
No, because you've got that special knowledge. You're smarter than everyone on the planet, aren't you?
No, I'm not smarter than everyone on the planet.
That's what you're saying. You're saying you're smarter than every other scientist on the planet.
That's not what I'm saying at all.
Yes, it is.
Do not put words in my mouth.
You're saying that they're wrong about the shape of the Earth,
policy,
the rotation of the Earth.
I've never said, and you're putting words in my mouth that I never said.
You are
never said I'm smarter.
Guys, everybody be quiet.
Hey,
let you guys be quiet for a second. Y'all are talking over each other, and nobody can understand anything. JM Truth, we'll go ahead and let you start, and then we'll get you back. Shawn, you just y'all go back and forth from there, but try not to talk over each other, guys, please. Go ahead, JM. You guys have about 20 minutes left, okay?
Okay. Team, if you would, I've never said that I'm smarter than everyone else on this earth, correct? I'll ask a third party.
Hey guys, I'm out. I'm not in this argument. This between you two guys. We can have that discussion afterwards, but let me just play the role of moderator and just go ahead and start JM and Shawn, if you'll just address whatever he says.
Okay.
I've made my points.
You saying that gravity isn't real, that the curve of the Earth isn't real, the Earth is flat.
Not only
saying that you're smarter than every other scientist.
Sir, you keep putting words in my mouth. I never
said. That's what you assume.
I never said. No, you were imposing things on me that I never said. Do you not realize that? Do you not realize you are putting words in my mouth as you have accused me of doing to others?
Okay, let me rephrase that. Thousands upon thousands upon thousands of scientists say that the Earth is flat. Or the Earth is round. Sorry.
There's thousands that say it's flat too, but
the Earth is round. It spins. The sun is 93 million miles away. The moon is closer, quarter of the size, whatever. Are they right or wrong?
They're wrong.
Then you're saying that you're smarter than everyone who's.
No, I'm not saying all of them. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying I've tested enough. I've done enough experiments to validate that the people that you listen to are lying to you.
Okay, they're lying to us, right? Everything they've taught us is a lie.
I don't know about everything, but
right,
a lot.
Okay, let's say that I've gone through the indoctrination centers. I put 12 years of indoctrination under me, right? I've learned all this indoctrination, all this fake science.
You have.
Now, what school do I go to get unindoctrinated to do my astronomy job or my job doing science? What school do I go to get my head straight, man? Because I've got all this indoctrination in there. I really need to get it straight so I can learn, so I can do science on the real world, the real flat Earth. Where do I go to relearn that? Nobody's ever had to go to school to unlearn that.
You don't have to go to school. That's the point. You have to understand science.
Why does everything that we learn in school work in real life?
Can I finish my statement?
Sure.
It doesn't work in real life. They've built a mirage around you. They've built a digital world around you that you don't understand. In order to break free of that, which is a great question, you've got to be able to question it. Right now, you're not willing to question it because you already fight for them. You already argue their points instead of going, you know what? I'm going to go find out for myself and go test the results. I've done laser experiments. I have friends that have done laser experiments. I've recorded experiments. All of the experiments that I've recorded, at least my data, shows that we're not on a curved Earth, despite what I was taught from being so little in school and elementary all the way through high school. I was taught the same things you were, with a globe in my face and pictures of space. But I've also done the investigation and have found all the astronauts of the Challenger explosion actually are not dead. One of them works in Congress.
Now I'm going to correct you right the fuck now, asshole.
You please do.
Those people gave their life for this fucking country.
Nobody died in that explosion.
Hey, listen, guys.
Died.
Guys, hold on. Hey, yeah, you're right. Hold on. Let me stop this here.
Sorry.
Let me stop this here. We're not going to talk about the tragedy, either shuttle tragedy, because that's disingenuous on anybody's behalf to speak on anybody that may have lost their lives in that. I don't think that's right, and I'm not going to allow that to occur on this channel. So JM, please stick to the facts, and if you want to discuss that on your channel and you want to invite me and Shawn on, we'd be happy to go on and talk that. But right now, we're not gonna have that conversation on this channel, please.
Okay.
All right, go ahead. Continue on.
I suppose 9/11's out of the question then too.
Yeah, 9/11's out of the question too, because you're not going to convince me that my cousin didn't see what he saw when he was there.
So please, I've got to go do my job, right? I got to do my job in science, and I've got to use facts and figures and instruments that I learned how to use in the indoctrination center to get results that other people who aren't indoctrinated can look at and make decisions by.
Everyone's indoctrinated, brother.
No, dude, you don't know what indoctrination is.
Oh my God! If you went to school,
you talk about.
Let me finish. If you went to school, you were indoctrinated. Right? The definition of indoctrination is to be have something imposed on you. That's the very definition of indoctrination.
Right, without any backing, without anything, without any evidence or proof behind it.
And you didn't go prove anything you were taught in school.
Oh, you mean I didn't do any experiments? You mean my textbooks didn't have any experiments that you had to do before you finished that chapter? It didn't have any practical experiments in physics, like dragging a brick up a slope and taking measurements. It didn't have anything to do with that, measuring the fall rate of a weight.
Okay, yeah,
fall rate of a rate. Didn't have those experiments. Look, dude, you don't know what the scientific method is.
Oh,
the first thing you want to do with the scientific method, the first thing
you're going to make me educate you in the scientific method.
If you try and
let him talk, JM. Let him talk.
Well, you try and disprove it. You try and disprove it. If you can't disprove it, it goes on to peer review. It goes on to other things.
Peer review has got an issue too, there, buddy.
In the scientific method,
peer review has got an issue too.
Is to disprove it yourself. It's already gone. It's already gone through the debunking process.
No, that is not
true. You trying
to
debunk science don't work,
All right,
dude.
listen, guys, I'm going to step in. So we're devolving away from the planet, the shape of the Earth, okay? We have 15 minutes left. We can either end it here if we want to stop talking about...
I'm done with this guy.
Okay, we want to... JM, do you have anything you'd like to add about supporting the shape of the Earth or attacking the shape of the Earth? And leave it at the shape of the Earth. Conspiracies are not my thing. I can imagine.
But technically,
I can imagine.
According to Shawn,
hold on. I can imagine. Listen, I can imagine that conspiracies are probably your thing, and you're welcome to talk about them on there. And I'll come on there and talk them on your channel. But on my channel, we discuss shape of the Earth. So, if
team,
you have
is flat Earth, round Earth not a conspiracy?
No, I don't think it's a conspiracy.
Okay.
No, there's no question.
He said it's a conspiracy. So.
No, I think that, yeah, I think it's a conspiracy theory because you guys think that everybody's in on it behind it to cover the shape of the Earth.
That's actually not true.
I'm generalizing here, yes. Flat Earthers do think that all of NASA is involved in all of the government.
No, that's not true.
Hold on. I'm generalizing here. I'm not saying you individually. I'm saying Flat Earthers.
Go
watch some Flat Earth videos, JM. Come on now. They all talk about, NASA lies. There's individual channels called NASA fucking lies, dude.
I know, team. I know.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is, what most of us would agree to is that the top echelon in NASA lies. That the employees that work for NASA don't even realize the lies going on. In fact, there have been people that break away from the programming that worked at NASA that have come back and said, "Yeah, now I realize that working in there, the employees themselves don't know it. The astronauts and the higher echelon do, but when people say all of NASA lies, that's not true."
Well, okay, so are you done presenting evidence for your side or addressing evidence on his side?
Yes.
Okay, great. So let me go ahead and stop the timer. All right. So that's it. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Get the fuck out of here. No, I'm just kidding. Don't leave. No, thank you very much for coming on. This was a great debate. You know, I do think that there were some things that needed to be addressed that didn't get addressed. I can address them now, or I can just wait and we can have another conversation about that another time. We're actually going to be doing an after show after this. I'm going to be inviting on several people like Fight the Flat Earth and AT2 Productions. You're more than welcome to stay, JM. We're going to be kind of talking about some of the points brought up. Sean, you're welcome to stay as well.
Okay.
But we're going to be talking about some of the points that were brought up, and you're more than welcome to stay and defend yourself. You're also welcome to get in the chat and hang out there. You're welcome to leave. At this point, it's all on you. But I do appreciate you coming on and having this discussion, this moderated discussion. JM, do you have anything to add as a final? I'm going to give you a few minutes just to say whatever you need to say before we end your side of the argument.
Okay. Team, first I want to say thank you for having me on, dude. Every time you do, it's an experience, but you're always professional, and I do appreciate you staying out of it when I'm debating other people. Sean, it was fun, man.
Yeah.
I wish on other levels we could actually be friends, but I don't know that would ever happen. But doors open. It's always open.
Right on.
I'm not big on calling people names, and like Team knows, I think this should be a discussion. We obviously have two different takes on things, which would be really boring if we didn't. I just wish we could do things in a more peaceful manner. I've been to war. I've seen the worst of man. I've been involved in the worst of man. I don't want to go down that road anymore. I do want the truth. So if somebody can prove it's round, I'm glad to go back to that model. But I try to debunk flat Earth, which is why I'm a flat earther. So anyway, thanks again, guys.
Yeah, no problem. Again, thank you for coming. Like I said, the hardest part of this whole process is getting a flat earther to actually show up when he says he's going to show up. So
here I am.
I respect that more than anything else.
Absolutely.
Even though we absolutely disagree on methodology, we disagree on scientific understandings, we disagree on a lot of things. The one thing we can agree on is punctuality, so I do appreciate that. Sean, thank you so much for coming on and doing your thing, man. Well, that was great. Do you have anything? I'll give you a couple minutes to say what you want to say. We'll do super chats after that, and then we'll get to final thoughts and bring everybody else in. So go ahead, Sean.
Okay. Yeah, I just it turned out about it like I thought it would. This is my first debate ever on YouTube. So
good job.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm going to take notes next time. I missed a lot of stuff.
I would.
So I'll probably hear about that.
Well, just so you guys know, I will be. I'm going to do the after show just all as one stream. And then I will go back and cut out the actual debate part, and I'll send each one of you guys a copy of it. You'll get the same exact unedited copy so that you can do whatever you'd like with it. If you want to put it up on your channel or pull out whatever you want to do, that's up to you guys.
That's badass, man.
Yeah. So, both of these guys, if you're a flat earther out there, you should go subscribe to JM Truth. He's as crazy as you are, so definitely go give him a watch. And if you're a Globe Earther, I can't say this enough, man. This is the most underrated Globe Earther here right now on the stage. And to find out that was your first debate, yeah, Sean, I would have taken some notes because he did. In my opinion, he opened himself up a few times that you kind of glazed over because he put out a lot of information. So if you weren't prepared for it,
Yeah.
then it would be hard to go back and address everything. But there were some points I think that he made that were a little bit easier to address.
Oh, can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I real quick? I want to shout out the official Globe and Flat Earth discussion page on Facebook. Anybody that wants to come and have an open discussion is welcome to come.
Just don't
Talk
say the
there
Earth
on
is not
Facebook.
flat. Just don't say the Earth is not flat. They'll beat
No,
you.
by all means. No, they don't.
Oh, I just got, hey, I'm gonna give Nathan Thompson's
all right.
got to understand. I'm gonna give him shit about that until the day that I stop talking to that dude, because
Okay.
I was on that group and I got booted, but it's all good. I'm not even bitter about it. It's now an inside joke. So, okay, so let's do super chats and then we'll close this out. Let me get the Hangout link to a few people. Sean, okay? Are you gonna be
I'll stick around.
You're gonna stick around, okay?
Yeah.
All right. And you're good with me inviting a few people, JM?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to stick around much. When did we start? 5 o'clock at 6, so I'll probably try to stick around another 30 minutes or so, but I may have to go.
Okay.
I got 3 kids and a baby girl, and you know.
Yeah, like I said, I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah. It's my pleasure, man. If you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen.
Okay, so while we wait on everybody to get here, let's go over some super chats. Rapid X, you put on a couple of super chats, bro. I really appreciate it. Another channel that most people know about him now. He does really cool satire music videos. Oh man, great channel to be following. Rapid X for $2.29 or 2.29 pounds. I'm gonna say. Oh hell yeah! I didn't know this was up now. And hey, if you're in the chat, I can't see the chat right this second, so I'll get to the chat in a second, guys. Rapid X again for 2.29 pounds. No need to read this, but I know you did anyway. Yes, Rapid X, I did. Thank you very much for fooling me. I am Alien 1000 for 2 pounds. Ask them about the Space Burger video from Killam. I'm not sure if I saw a Space Pizza Burger, which, I mean, not a Space Pizza Burger, a Space Pizza video, which it would be kind of hard to explain that on a parabolic flight, and it'd also kind of be hard to explain that in a pool, but I'm sure they have some kind of weird explanation for why they're able to do that. 0132132, my original super chatter from day one. The math of a stationary flat Earth makes some math easier. Oh noes. That means Earth is flat. Yeah, Jared. I just saw your chat.
Good question. All right.
Yeah. Go ahead and bring in guys few. That's fine. All right, Rapid X. Ding is such an understatement in this case. I can agree with you, Rapid. I can agree with you, bro. Mistake not for 1.99 pound or 1. Oh, I said those wrong. Those are euro. Wait, Rapid, you did a euro. I am Alien, you did a pound. Rapid, you did a euro, and then Mistake not's a pound. Guys, I'm learning, One day I'll fucking get it, I swear. All right, FNP, PPP. Ding is not enough. Mistake not, 199 pounds. Slap him down, Shawn Hawkins. And FNP, PPP, that was in pounds as well. William Signs for $5. One should borrow Nathan Thompson's sledgehammer and bash GD Liar upside the head. Night Clement for $1. No message, but I do appreciate your super chat. Thank you very much. Rapid X, 549 euros. Still wonder why McDonald's allows him to wear his hairnet outside of work hours.
It's a linen head wrap, not a hairnet. Thanks.
Fight the Flat Earth for
tomato.
Fight the Flat Earth for 10 pounds. I speak to George Musser every day, and you're misquoting him, JM. That is intellectual dishonesty. And we'll bring that up. He's actually coming on here, I believe. So,
Hi.
Hey, Fight the Flat Earth, give me a second to get through super chats, and then we'll get all you guys in, okay?
Okay.
Then I had a $20 super chat, and the message was deleted. I don't know the username either, but thank you very much, whoever that was. Ben the Mite Metric, $10. Quote mining the word flat out of context you do not understand may not be intellectually dishonest if you truly lack the intellect to realize how stupid that is. But is that really any better? And I agree with that, JM. Like, all those NASA documents you keep talking about, you keep leaving out that one little word that's in almost every document, and it's assumption.
No, it's not in every
Assume.
document. Go back and look at it. No, it's not.
Okay.
I
Well-
read some of them have the word assumption.
Relative. You know,
Well, and speaking of those documents, it really piqued my interest when you brought them up, because the vast majority of the ones you cited all had the same purpose. Do you know what that was, JM?
Oh, please tell me.
Well, hey, hold on, guys. Listen. The first thing we'll talk about is the NASA
Okay.
documents. Let me at least. I'm getting
Well,
flooded
can we
with
do
super
George
chats.
Messer first?
We'll go. Jared with what they just started talking about. Then we'll bring in the George Musser. Okay. Let me get
Can
the
I
super
address
chats.
Bites the Flat Earth first?
Can
I just want to apologize for something.
Oh yeah. Hey. How about this? I am going to. You guys can talk all you want. Let me go ahead and. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
let's
share
finish.
that. Okay. I'm gonna do super chats. You guys can talk all you want while I'm doing super chats. They can't hear you. Okay. Oh wait. Let me transition this in. Oh, it will be public, but give me 1 second so I can get through these super chats. Y'all will. The only thing is y'all are gonna hear me reading the super chats. Don't do that. God, now I gotta find my super chats window. All right, so Justin Holland for $4.99. For the brain cells you've lost during this, $4.99 gets me about 1/3 of 1/1,000,000th of one brain cell. So, but I'll do my best. I'll put it towards as many brain cells as possible. Steven Steen, who is a flat earther, and he is super chatting on here, and I asked that if there's anybody that leaves a super chat that's as a flat earther, if you'll just identify yourself as a flat earther, because during this live stream, I think that I just made the decision that all super chats that come in from flat earthers, I'm just going to give those to charity. So if you are a flat earther and you would like to super chat during my show, just tag yourself as a flat earther, and I'll put it in a charity when I get it, okay? Yeah. All right. Says TIG Loken 16 JM the clown physicist. William Signs for $5, and thank you, Loken. William Signs for $5. That's right. GD liar. When in doubt, cry conspiracy. I think that's kind of a staple with flat earthers, though, to be honest with you. Stringer News 1, $5. If everything goes to a point, why does JM have no point? Good point. That's actually pretty funny. The Casual Spaceman for £5. I can find several sources for using radar, stellar parallax, to calculate the distance to other stars. Yeah, hey, JM, I was a radar tech in the military, bro. So if you have any questions about how radar works, you should probably direct those to me. Because we have actually, I'm going to tell you now that we know what we're doing when it comes to radar. We can be precise with our measurements, and it's all based on the measurements of the speed of light and return waves. And we actually have built-in systems, redundant systems that block out all other waves, so that we know that the return signals we're getting aren't false signals and signals from other radars and all these other things. So radar technology is something like light does not slow down, nor does it stop at distances. That's just a fallacious argument. It might be something we can talk about it in a second, but it is a fallacious argument in my opinion. Well, let me get through the super chats because they can't hear you right now, but we'll talk about that too. We'll talk about that after Musser. Mike Bolachek for $2 Canadian. I'm out. Listening to Flurf fills me with rage. Yes, I do appreciate your $2 Canadian. I really do appreciate it, and I'm sorry that we filled you with rage tonight. Brian Peck for $5. JM, are those boats too small in angular size to maintain resolution before being seen before the large ship you would go over? I think let's see. Angular size to maintain resolution before to be seen before the large ship would go over. I would have to take time to try to understand what that the point being made there, because I think that he's actually making a point about the angular size just changing. Okay, Ben the Mite Metric, $5. JM Truth, graph out what you think the slope of the Earth is curved based on your equation, because that is not the equation for a circle. We'll talk about that too, JM. Stephen Steen, again, a flat earther, NASA, not a science agency, CGI and Illuminati. Dust Knight, JM, branch of service, unit and rank. He says, I'm calling stolen valor on this guy. Now, Dust right. I'm not gonna, I stand up for my veterans. I've never asked JM for any proof that he's a veteran, but I'm not questioning whether he is or is not either. I honestly believe he is a veteran. And I myself, yeah, I'm not here to argue that point. Unfortunately, I cannot, oh, I got that joke there. Nobody can hear it because it's only us talk, or they can't hear y'all. They can only hear me right now. Yeah, listen, guys, I'm not here to argue that point or fight that point with anybody. I trust at this point that he is a veteran until he starts saying things that sound unveteran of him. Then I'll question whether he's a veteran or not. Well, you can tell when people come in and they start talking about being in the military and they don't, they're not really saying stuff that makes sense to a military person. And to a military person, you can... Hold on, let me turn this on so everybody can hear you. Hold on, let me turn this on so everybody can hear you. All right, go ahead.
My rank was an E5. I was in the United States Army. Okay, I was a medic, combat medic. I've done combat tours in Iraq. I am medically disabled from that, and I'm not here to prove myself to anyone, nor am I going to hand over any of my documentation to anyone. My first 5 years were in a long-range reconnaissance unit. Okay, that's all anyone else needs to know. I'm not here to prove myself. So,
right. Well, no, that's fine. I just, as a fellow veteran,
I just wanted for your audience to be like, look, I've got enough on my website and enough out there on me to validate my claim. So
yeah, let me move forward. William Signs.
Yeah, let's finish it.
William Signs for $10. So the 1968 Earthrise photo made years before CGI was CGI. Really. Brian Peck for $2. Let's see your methods, calculations, and results. I agree with that actually, because that's the only way you find fault in somebody is when you actually see the work that they've done. Christ Puncher for $5 Canadian. I didn't know you're from Canada. Makes a whole fucking lot of sense though. You think you're smarter than everyone, JM. You're a couple of IQ points behind a burlap sack, buddy. Go back to school. MA2 Fletcher Eisler, $5. Money so that JM can get an actual scientific education and not the crap that he just spewed. Victor Volkov, $5. Earth is not flat. It's not a globe. It's halo-shaped. All right, good shit.
I agree with that. Just kidding.
We're getting to a point somewhere, guys, where we can agree on the shape of the Earth. Okay, let's see. Now opinion, 50 secs. I would like the flat earther to explain their worldview. What makes the sun and moon stay in the sky, and why do we have seasons? We'll have to address that at another time. We can get to it in the after show if you stick around long enough.
All right.
But we'll just go ahead and leave that there because that's a good point.
That's a good question.
NASA fanboy Globehead for $4.99. NASA published photos of Earth way before CGI existed. Yes. They did. $1.99 from Stephen Steen. Again, another another flat earther because he's got Fight the Flat Earth in his name. So my bad. Another the same flat earther with another super chat. Thank you so much, Stephen. JM would destroy FTFE. Absolutely destroy him. Yeah, I'm not so sure about that. Mike for $5. Why do astronauts risk their lives to fake space launches? That's a really good question. I mean, I still, to this day, think it would be easier for them to just Gestapo us and just take our money. Why even bother spending millions of dollars to send the rockets up that are never going to space? and you can argue, oh, it's for, to keep the lie going and this and that. I don't, that there's just no logistical,
Well, look at the drama that it's already caused.
Yeah,
Well,
but there's just no logistical, there's no logistical logic there for me to
at the bare minimum. Why do they need the suits?
They don't.
Okay, so let me keep going. Wesley Smith, $10. JM objects disappearing bottom up equals refraction. Sun arriving disappearing at horizon without size change equals perspective. Parallax equals lensing. Do you really feel genuine? Yeah, that's a pretty common argument for them. DKG Custom, £2. Thank you very much, sir. He's been around forever. Let me on the panel. Can put his Photoshop to test. We'll see about that, DKG. NANA for $6.66. JM is a dishonest POS. Loco Tomo for $2. Can I hear a ding? Sincerely, a Globe Earther. Loco, this sting's for you, buddy. And then Steven Steen for the last one, donating super chats to charity. NASA money is good. Well, Steven, if you really want me to keep the super chats, I'll keep it. But I'm trying to take the money that you don't want to give to me, and I'm trying to give it to at least somebody else that could help out in this world. So if you want me to keep it, by all means, just tell me in the chat, hey, keep my money. It's for you. I'll keep it. But if not, I'm giving it to charity because charity could use it more than I can. Okay, so that's all the
charity. Give it to me instead.
No, not doing that either. All right, so that's it for tonight as far as the debate goes. As far as the debate goes. We are going to now switch over to just an after show. JM, let me first say thank you again for sticking around as long as you have. Shawn, same for you. We've been here since 5, or I guess 6. So, guys, thank you guys for sticking around and hanging out. But let's open it up. We said we were going to... What was the first topic we were going to cover?
The NASA documents that he referenced.
Yeah, the NASA documents that you referenced. No. There was somebody
else. Can I address Fight the Flat Earth first?
Yeah, sure. We'll start there. Go ahead, Fight the Flat Earth.
Okay. Go ahead, Jay. During our last debate, I said I did not agree with a fallacy, and a fallacy really is a thing. So I apologize to Fights the Flat Earth. I was wrong.
I accept that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the problem, the fallacy comes from the existence of people like Trigger Tits, and I'm not sure if you know who Trigger Tits is.
No idea.
His name is Southern Israelite, and every time it does not matter. Let's say you tell him that you measured something out to be 3 inches, right? And he's going to say, well, how do you know that was 3 inches? You say, well, I had a ruler. It's 3 inches. Well, who made the ruler? Well, there you're always going to get to a point where he's going to claim some kind of fallacy on you, and even whether the fallacy is correct or not correct, at some point when you crutch on fallacies, you're committing a fallacy. It's where
I'm going to correct you, Team Skeptic.
Oh yeah, go ahead, please do.
What Trigger Test is trying to accomplish is to break everything down to a genetic fallacy, which means that if somewhere along the route, the path is wrong, everything else is wrong.
Right.
Yeah. A fallacy is where, say that you committed an ad hom against JM. I'm just using you as an example. So, say you committed a ad hom fallacy against JM. He then says that your entire argument that you presented is a fallacy, which is a fallacy.
Right.
Gotcha.
It's claiming everything you said is...
doesn't mean that the argument itself is wrong. Yeah.
Correct.
Right.
So, just had to correct
that. I would agree with that, though, just so you know.
And I learned that thanks to Martimer 81. So I didn't know 4 months ago that a fallacy thing was a thing.
All right. Now, as far as the NASA documents go, Greater Sapien has done a great video on this. All those documents, if you don't cherry pick the documents, if you actually take the document from the full like context, right? It always says, with the assumption of the flat stationary Earth, relative to
I've read them. They don't all say that.
Relative to a flat and stationary Earth. If they don't all say it, If you go
Can
and
I-
you look
can I say
at
something about the
20
NASA
documents,
documents?
hold on 1 second, fight. If you look at 20 documents and you say I find 3 of them where they don't say, where they don't reference it being in relative to stationary Earth, or with the assumption that the Earth and the atmosphere is stationary. If you find 3 of those documents in a list of 20, that just means they didn't add them to those 3. It doesn't mean that they decided to lie on 17 of them and they decided to allow the
what
truth
is the
on 3.
difference though between an assumption? I mean, if the document says it, I mean, if, in one document it's like
I can
flat
answer
with a
that.
zero
Hey,
curvature.
okay.
Can I
Can I
answer
finish?
that for
Can
you?
I finish the question?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
What is the difference if 15 documents all assume? Well, let's use the word assume. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. All assume the Earth is flat and stationary. The document is admitting, and we're not even talking. I mean, there's 15 documents, but I showed like a lot more than 15. So,
Okay.
You're
So what?
argu-
No. Okay. I'm sorry. I
Get
thought
to
you were
the
done.
question.
Yeah, I thought you were done there.
no, the question is, how are you going to blow all that off and just say, well, it's not true? I mean, that's
Okay,
really
I can answer that with one thing.
I brought this one up, guys, and
All
this
right,
goes
okay.
right to it.
Go ahead,
There is a specific context to those documents where they state a non-rotating flat frame of reference. And I started this by asking you the question: do you know what that context is? You have claimed to have read them.
Right.
What was the context?
that the Earth was flat, stationary.
No.
Yeah,
What
it was in relationship to the movement of the Earth.
context? What was the context of the entire paper where they put that as the frame of reference?
For the aircraft that they're
Okay, it's about aircraft. Now, are you familiar with any sort of engineering analysis?
What do you mean by engineering analysis? I mean, that's a very broad statement. Engineering what? What are we talking about?
In this case, aircraft.
Okay. Yeah, so a little bit.
So why do you take issue with them going with a simplified frame of reference? Because
it's not intellectually honest. If
Yes,
in fact
it
can I finish? If in fact the Earth is rotating, you would need to actually give the proper dimensions and the proper physics involved with the mathematical equations that you're presenting to create that aircraft. You cannot say, well, it's rotating, except there's a Coriolis, but there's no Coriolis.
You were wrong there. You were wrong there.
Of course.
Yes, because the paper that you just cited was not with the intent of creating the aircraft. It is with the intent
Some of them are.
Evaluating. Hang on a second.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Going with evaluating the aircraft and evaluating the worthiness of that aircraft. Now, you were in the military, so you should be familiar with the term of the 5,000-foot view, correct?
Yeah.
Now, when you are discussing things from that level, whether you're talking from an engineering standpoint, an analytical standpoint, or even just in a classroom, if you're starting out at that level, how much minutia are you going to get into?
I don't know offhand.
Just none. Starting with the high level overview, you simplify everything to get the basis understood, to get the foundation there. And once that is attained, then you go down into the minutia. See, as someone who actually is in professional engineering, EE and aeronautical, you start at high level simplified as your base foundation to determine whether or not you need to make changes at that point. If you realize that you don't need to make changes at that point from your simplified overview, then you dig deeper, then you go further into the minutia to try to find any flaws in what you are evaluating. You are using a high-level overview to jump to the conclusion. There is a process. Engineering analysis is a long fucking process. The shortest one I've been a part of took 6 months.
You are claiming to be a subject matter expert, yes?
I'm an electrical engineer with an AS in aeronautical engineering.
Okay. I have an aeronautical engineer who will testify to the fact that they're on no aircraft do they calculate for curvature. So if you are,
you know why?
Hold on.
Know why?
We're talking. Hold on. Let me finish. We're talking about a full bird colonel.
Doesn't matter.
Okay,
that doesn't matter.
Who understands probably far better than you avionics and aeronautics.
Seeing as how my NEC when I was in the Navy was 6611, which is instrumentation, communication, and navigation equipment for aircraft, you might want to think about who you're talking to on that one before you make claims like that. Which, actually, speaking to that, there was another question that did come up that I'm asking for the chat right now, really simply.
Okay.
Were you a combat medic or a mortarman?
I was a combat medic.
So why in a previous debate did you claim to be a mortarman?
Because in a long-range reconnaissance unit, we'd cross-train. Okay, part of my cross-training was that of a mortarman as well. So I've fired mortars, I've studied mortars, I've studied angular momentum.
So what is the effective range of a mortar? And this is where we can pivot to Geist view.
Okay. Can I say something real quick?
Yes, and before we pivot to a different topic, I want Fight the Flat Earth to cover the George Musser, and then we'll go. Well, I'll let Shawn Hawkins address this, then we'll go Fight the Flat Earth, then Geist view if you want to jump in after that.
Hold on.
Hold on 1 second, Shawn. What were you going to say?
I've got 6 people that I am essentially trying to defend myself against. For 6 people.
JM, listen.
Do you consider that as fair?
Hey, JM, hold on. Let me say something first. I did tell you that this was all done. I did tell you that this was an after show. I said you're welcome to stay if you'd like, and you're welcome to leave if you'd like. Everybody here has questions for you. If you believe in what you said, then you shouldn't have a problem with it.
Just pointing out the.
Okay. No, but like I said, I told you that from the beginning that this is the after show.
I've faced more than 6 opponents, so I'm not worried about it.
Okay. Well,
you better be.
And the thing is that if you, in my opinion, and this would go for me as well on somebody else's channel, I believe in what I'm saying so much that I would not have a problem defending my assertions. So that's all we're here for right now. And like I said, we've already said thank you for being here. If you,
no, cool. Go on.
If you'd like to leave, that's fine. But if not, we're going to continue on. Go ahead, Shawn.
So the only thing I wanted to say is you quote a full-bird colonel, aviation expert, as your source. I knew a lieutenant colonel who was an air defense artillery officer who absolutely used Coriolis in his calculations on firing Nike Ajax Hercules missile.
I would have to have him face to face with me to actually.
He's dead. I buried him.
Okay, well,
my dad.
I probably shouldn't use the colonel either, but
Harry R. Hawkins,
you know,
cited in Outstanding Young Men of America at a very young age.
Okay.
Went to Command General and Staff College in Fort Leavenworth, Missouri. Extraordinary career. 2 terms in Vietnam, 2 terms in Korea, 1 term in Vietnam.
Okay, can I ask a question?
Let's keep moving it forward. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I say something? Shit.
Yeah, wait, my turn.
Yeah, go ahead, Fight.
All right,
and then
first
we'll
off,
get to you guys. You'll be next after Fight the Flat Earth.
First off, about the whole NASA thing, what shape did NASA say the Earth is?
Flat, zero curvature.
If you went to NASA and asked them if the Earth was a globe, what would they say?
Obviously, it's a globe.
Well, then, if you can't quote NASA saying it's not a globe, if that's what they would say.
Absolutely, I can. When I pull documents off their website, Fight. Absolutely, I can. Sorry.
And yeah, NASA will still say no, it's a globe,
of
so
course,
you can't.
Anyway,
we'll move on from that. I've got a request from George Musser that you flat earthers stop misquoting him. Actually, from George Musser, who I speak to daily at this point. George Musser, who I'm doing a joint science project with to measure the circumference of the Earth.
I took his quote directly from.
You completely are misquoting what he's saying, because he is in no way, shape, or form saying that Einstein. Do not interrupt me. I am talking. George Musser is in no way, shape, or form saying that Einstein completely replaced and then therefore disregarded Newton. That is not what he says. That article that he wrote is an opinion that he has about the way that Einstein came about explaining the effects of gravity, explaining that it wasn't just a magical force. He snapped the wand by explaining that listen, I'm talking. Thanks. Stop interrupting me. Okay. By snapping the wand, What he meant was removing the magical properties of gravity.
I know what he meant. I've read the article.
Stop interrupting me once more, and I'm going to get really fucked off with you. Okay, because I'm trying to be nice.
Hey guys, calm down. Come on, we've had a great thing so far. Just
you step over people too, dude.
Yeah,
let me finish what I'm saying. Okay?
Let him finish, and then JM, you can address it, and then we're jumping to Guy's view.
So, what George Musser was saying, and this is his words, was that the snapping the wand was removing the magical properties that that Newton gave to mass, i.e., the instantaneous action. By snapping the wand, he explained that it wasn't a magical force; it was the curvature of space-time, which can be measured as a force. Because Einstein himself says that. The equations that Newton came up with can never be disregarded, as they are the basis of modern day physics. So George Musser, his article does not say in any way that Einstein disregarded Newton. That is not what the article says. You are either misunderstanding or misquoting it. And that is from George Musser. Okay?
Well, I'm not talking to George Mercer, so as long as I'm not, all I have is the article that I read and that I understand very well what he said. So if George Mercer has an issue, he can go to the guy that wrote the article on him.
Well, George Mercer is
let him finish.
George Mercer needs to address it publicly then. And you coming and telling me, well, George Mercer said to stop. No, it's a public quote, and I will use it as much as I need to make the point.
Okay, so when I speak to George Musser, which is actually happening in 2 days' time, in preparation for Sleeping Warrior Week, starting May the 20th, when I speak to George Musser and he publicly says that you, Sleeping Warrior, and any flat earther that says this nonsense about Einsteinian and Newtonian gravity being completely exclusive are wrong, will you apologize?
If that happens, we'll see.
So that's a yes, you will apologize.
I said we'll see.
No, I want you to say if you will apologize or not.
I'm giving you as much as you're going to get right now, Flat.
You're giving yourself an out.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Listen, JM, this is what I want to happen, right?
When it happens, I'm not going to say yes, and then have you come to me. Well, this is what he said. I don't care what you think. I will evaluate on my own what George Mercer says if he says anything publicly. And I will make the decision.
When he does, and he says directly that you and all other flat earthers are wrong, you will then apologize to him, right?
If he can prove that we are wrong and that we've misquoted him, then I will consider it.
If he says that you misquoted him, then you misquoted him.
Yeah, if he tells you that you're taking what he said out of context, then you're taking what he said out of context.
Not necessarily.
Yeah,
NASA says we take their shit out of context too. Okay. So it doesn't necessarily mean that.
Yeah,
everybody stop. Guys, few, your turn.
I don't know how well I'm going to show up on this because I'm on my cell phone. So, but out of everybody here, I think I'm the only person who ever was an artillery unit and whoever actually slung rounds and was actually part of was air defense non-commissioned officer who retired as an E7 and with 23 years of service. Anyways, talking about curvature and stuff like that, and you first talking about like no movement. When you're learning how to sling rounds, one of the first things you learn is that the Earth is flat and stationary to make things simple. Then you upgrade to the Earth is moving and is moving and curved, and then you start doing your ballistic calculations based on that. And there's actually a table that's for that. It's 7-40.
Right. I'm familiar with this table.
So
the problem is that table.
No. Hold on. You said you were a medic and you cross-trained as a mortarman, which means that was not your MOS specialty. It means that you just tagged along and hang rounds whenever they need you to hang rounds. But I don't think you did any of the ballistic calculations. I'm talking.
Let him finish, JM. You can have your chance to respond.
Okay.
I know all about people who get attached to LRSD units, which you're talking about, that you're a long-range reconnaissance unit. That would be called a LRSD unit.
Right.
Long-range surveillance detachment, not unit. Anyways, long-range artillery, when you're talking 22 miles, 23 miles, you do definitely take the Coriolis into effect. It's actually part of the calculations based on your latitude and longitude and where you're at above or below the equator. Then you talk about curvature. Do you know what a Q36 is?
No,
Do you know what a
Or at least I
Q37? Hold on. Do you know what a Q37 is?
I don't remember.
Do you know what an LCMR is?
Dude, just get your point, please.
First off, I'm getting a little baseline here of your knowledge.
I've got short-term memory loss, but I don't remember.
That's nice. Anyways,
Yeah,
the Q37 radar requires a physical horizon to operate. How it detects a round in flight is that as a round passes over the horizon, the radar takes a snapshot of it in flight. It does the base ballistic calculations of how fast it's moving, how small it is. The Coriolis effect that'll be on that round. It predicts what they call an impact point, a POI, but also calculates a POO point, POO, point of origin.
What's your point?
First off, it needs a horizon, which wouldn't be on the flat Earth, and also needs to take account the Coriolis effect.
Wait.
Predict
There is
impact
a
point
on the flat Earth.
Yes, there is. There is no such thing as a horizon on a flat Earth for a Q30. For a Q37, there would be no horizon.
Wow. Okay.
You don't even know the radar, and you're already questioning me. I know the radar. I know the ballistic calculations. I have done them on paper. We also use a system. You know what AFA TADS is?
Wait, what is?
AFA TADS.
I don't remember now.
AFA TADS is a ballistic computer that they use for processing incoming rounds and outgoing rounds for when they do a fire mission.
And none of this equipment was around, and at least we didn't use it in 1992 and 93, 94, 95.
Bullshit.
So,
anybody please go.
My unit.
Hold on. Anybody please go online right now and look at the Q37's manufacturing date.
It doesn't matter whether it's manufactured
up right now.
Not all units.
It was used.
Buddy.
The Q37 was used back in the 80s.
Okay, great. I'm happy for you.
But you just told me they weren't used in 93. They were.
No, what I said is my unit didn't use them.
You were a fucking medic.
Okay, I'm also a medic that's got rifle training and specific rifle training.
Dude, I've been in Iraq 4 times. Every time was a combat tour.
Okay.
One Afghanistan, one Bosnia. I was in Bosnia in 95. What were you doing?
Okay, guys.
And you don't want to know what I was doing in 95.
Let's keep it. Hold on. Let's keep it to shape of the earth and evidence to support that, because this is great by Guy's View right here. This is great information right here.
I'm going to say that Geist View here is an expert in this field. So I'm going to ask him a question that never got clarified in our first debate on non sequitur. Geist View, would the fact of a round being ballistic or powered make a difference in the Coriolis calculations?
Can you hold on a second? Can you repeat yourself? Because I'm on my cell phone. Sometimes people can in and out.
So we were when in the debate with team and me and JM and Nathan Thompson, they were trying to say that the Coriolis effect isn't real, and then they were saying about rounds being fired. And I asked them the question, well, is the round that's being fired ballistic or powered? And they said it doesn't matter.
It does matter.
And why does it matter?
First off, the ballistic rounds that are fired out of a tube unit, say for example a 155 Paladin, their rounds are definitely have to account for the Coriolis effect. They also do not have to account for a Coriolis effect if they're firing the rounds, say for the Excalibur. The Excalibur round is a GPS guided round in flight. It can compensate for the Coriolis effect because it guides itself like an aircraft. Aircrafts and anything that's guided like a missile does not have to worry about the Coriolis effect because it's so slight.
That is
but all around that is a 155 millimeter fired from a Paladin for 22 miles. It's going to have a hang time of 20 some odd seconds. The Coriolis effect will definitely be a problem.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, I'm gonna present my screen again. Okay. I'm glad you asked that question because I was waiting for someone to actually make that point.
What point?
Hey, after you do that, I need to address this.
Doesn't affect like jets and stuff. So,
it doesn't have to because it's guided.
No, it doesn't matter.
Guys, hey,
it does matter.
All right,
guys,
I'm gonna share my screen, please.
Do not. I don't want to mute you guys. Okay, so please listen to me. Willie Merck has a super chat, $4.99. So how did flat earthers measure their tiny sun's height? And also, where's the science? Where's the science behind volcanoes? Show the science behind your claims. Now, I stopped it because there is a good thing here. You need to show the science behind your claims. If you're going to make these claims that Coriolis is not affecting. You need to say how or is not affecting these rounds. When someone else is saying who it is, then you guys need to show your proof. JM, go ahead. It's on you, and then we're going to go back to Geist after you make your claim.
I'm on a cell, so.
Yeah, and hey, guys, thanks for coming in, man. I appreciate you coming in last minute. I know you weren't prepared for this, so thank you very much.
Can I add something real quick to that?
Yeah,
we missed you guys. We missed you guys. Welcome back from Antarctica.
Yeah, that's another thing how I know the Earth is not flat, because I just spent 2 years in Antarctica, and I actually crossed it from McMurdo Station to South Pole Station to Tor Station and back multiple times, doing supply runs, doing shit like that. So
you saw the armed penguins and stuff, yeah?
Yes.
He was maintaining the penguins.
All right, so now
Coriolis
we're going to go back to JM. JM, you're going to talk about the Coriolis effect, correct?
Coriolis effect, an effect whereby a mass moving in a rotating system experiences a force, the Coriolis force. Can we all agree that the Earth is a mass and the atmosphere is also moving? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Earth, the atmosphere moves with the Earth, yes.
The atmosphere and the Earth are the same inertial reference frame.
No. Then Coriolis is irrelevant.
No,
Coriolis
no.
does not happen.
JM, we explained this last time. The reason why the atmosphere
moves is
Coriolis.
Hey, hold on a second. Hold on a second. I can fix this right now. I can fix this right now.
Guys,
there's a difference between Coriolis and windage.
Hey, no, we can't talk over each other. JM, hold on. You just made a claim. Guys, JM, you just made a claim. You just said that we're in different reference frames. We have to address that right now. Okay? Because if we don't address that, then you can continue on with this assumption that we're in different reference frames.
I'm asking you guys to read the damn definition that I have posted on the screen.
Okay.
I read the definition. I was trained on the definition.
Okay, well read the one below it then.
I'm on a cell phone.
Okay.
Okay. I'll read
the question that I asked.
I'll read it. Does this affect planes and helicopters? The answer is yes. Coriolis forces do affect airplanes, at least as far as winds are affected by Coriolis forces. Whether or not the Coriolis forces on the plane are important depends on how long the journey is. Planes and bullets are both affected by Coriolis effects. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Can I clarify? No,
go ahead, guys.
Hold on a second. Let me end. The aircraft is affected by the Coriolis effect because the atmosphere around the aircraft is affected by the Coriolis effect. The rounds in flight, because they are not guided, are directly, not indirectly, but directly affected by the Coriolis. And also, Coriolis is different than windage.
Mm-hmm. Okay, there we disagree, but
okay,
what they're calling.
Well, like you're talking about you being a professional photographer, I think I'm the subject matter expert here when it comes to artillery.
Okay, but I have an artillery document that claims the Earth is not rotating, and that also I have.
Hold on a second. Fight the flat Earth.
My point.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
No, let JM finish.
I also have another artillery expert like you, who will tell you that the chart that you mentioned that claims Coriolis, the mill chart, actually only takes into account the spinning of the round, which is the same as when we shoot a rifle, and you have to adjust for the spinning of the rifling and the boring of the.
Are you talking about FM6?
Okay, hold on. Stop right now. A 155 millimeter Paladin's gun is smoothbore. It does not have rifling.
Then you're accounting for windage, not Coriolis.
No, Coriolis is different than windage. You just told me that they compensate for you just lied to me. You just lied to me. You told me that the rounds are that the chart that you just said compensates for the spin of the round because of the rifling in the barrel.
Right.
155 millimeter Paladin guns are smoothbore. They do not have rifling. So try again.
Then there's no Coriolis.
What?
Yeah, that
told me.
Hold on. Coriolis does not. Coriolis. Hold on,
JM.
What you just said. Hold on, JM.
Is affected by Coriolis, or it isn't.
Let me speak. What you
guys
just
are
said
double
make
speaking
no
with
no.
Coriolis.
Listen, what you just said makes absolutely no sense. The rotating round plays no effect in the Coriolis effect whatsoever. It's the fact that the round is leaving in one reference frame and moving into another. Okay, so it has a drift in one reference frame, but in the other, there is no drift. And this has nothing to do with the spin of the bullet or the football or the ballistic missile or anything. You can take a solid object and drop it from a far enough height up, and it's going to drift off to the.
No test has ever proven that, team.
Really?
Okay, great.
Yeah, really. I mean, unless you account for windage. Windage does cause that.
No. Go ahead. Sean. You've been holding your breath, so go ahead.
Hold on a second. Can everybody stop for a second? Fight the Flat Earth. Do you remember a long time ago when I linked an image of a ballistics table?
Vaguely.
Where in the very far right hand, column, it says compensation for rotation of the Earth.
Is that FM 60 Chapter 7?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, I do.
Can you put the that image on the screen?
Let me.
I'm aware of the chart. I have a copy of it.
So where does it say that is because of rotation of the round? Correction, spin of the round in flight.
It doesn't. It was changed.
When it has never been changed.
Actually, it has been changed.
No, it hasn't been changed.
It has been changed.
When?
Actually.
When?
I'll have to go back and do the research on it, but I haven't.
Because I pulled one up from the 50s and it still said rotation of the Earth.
No.
I bet you can go. Hey, if anybody wants to, who's listening, if you want to go down to a military surplus store, if you want to go back there in the books of the FMs, find that FM and actually find the paper.
Okay, here's the issue. Again, we're arguing effects and not cause.
Well,
the cause is rotation of the Earth.
Okay, but there is no rotation of the Earth because
you're making a massive
there is.
Hold on.
Can I make it?
It's not an assumption.
Can I make a point?
It's not an assumption. The assumption, actually, when you're training to sling rounds, the first thing they teach you is to make things very basic. Is let's assume that the Earth is not moving and is stationary. That is actually in the FM and the TMs that you learn. That actually almost quote that verbatim. Is
that's now.
Let's assume that.
Let him finish.
Let's assume that the Earth is stationary and not moving. Now go practice firing rounds in the simulator. Now we're going to turn on rotation and where you're at on the Earth, and now watch where your shit flies. Now you have to use these tables to compensate for that.
Okay, so JM, I'm going to let you address that real quick, and then we're going to move on from that point so we can get to other points that were made in his.
I still got a point
Sean,
to touch on.
You'll Sean, let JM address that, and we'll jump to you after that. Okay.
So is everybody on this panel denying that the spin of a bullet or any round does not affect its trajectory?
Oh, no. 155 millimeter smoothbore does not spin in flight.
Hey, I already addressed.
I just told you.
I'm asking you for a rifling.
I already addressed this with you last time. Okay, if that was the case, then when you shot north, it would go to the right or left, whichever way it was rotating. And then when you shot to the south, it would go in the opposite direction. It wouldn't drift east still. It drifts east because of the rotation of the Earth. There's no way to say that you can't use the Magnus effect. You cannot use the Magnus effect and say that they both go in the same direction when firing in opposite direction.
The
same direction in the Y.
A bullet is not an artillery round.
Hold on. Calm down.
They're both projectiles there, Chief.
No, they're both ballistics.
Calm down, guys. Calm down.
They fly differently.
All right.
I can't take yelling on this right now. So if you guys are just,
I can't even stay on much longer.
That's fine. That's fine. Okay. So, but we already addressed the Magnus effect last time when you brought that up. If that was the case, then it would drift to the same way relative to the shooter every time. It does not drift relative to the shooter. No, it drifts relative to the spin of the Earth. When it drifts east. Absolutely. Are you kidding me? We do not have. No. You're not going to get away with this. You're not going to get away with this because all right, go ahead. But you're not going to get away with it. Go ahead.
If my bullet drifts to the right and I'm shooting, and the only time Coriolis actually has ever an effect is north to south.
No, that's incorrect. It goes
you just kind of admitted Coriolis is a thing.
No. That is incorrect. No, I'm going to address. No, okay,
it would
fine.
only affect.
That's fine. I'll give you that. But I'm going to tell you that no, you're wrong. If you're shooting directly east, the way the Coriolis effect works is that as the bullet travels to the target drops away from it because it's on its own. It still maintains the even though it's not going north to south, it still is changing frames of reference because it's well, I don't know if it'd be considered changing frames of reference, but it's getting further away from the Earth. Okay, if you draw your straight line, the time that it takes for the bullet to get there, the target will move away and will begin to drop down.
All of you are speaking as though experts, but I'm telling you, I've shot.
I am the expert here, not you.
Thousands of well,
I'm telling you how Coriolis works. I'm not proclaiming to be an expert on snipers. I'm telling you how the Coriolis works when sniping due east.
Really,
And then
we're bringing up snipers.
I'm telling you, with sniper training, I've never ever taken Coriolis into effect ever.
I fire more 50 cal rounds out of the barrel 50 cal than you ever will, and I probably know more about it than you do.
All right,
Jam, you're not likely to take into account Coriolis for sniper rounds because snipers don't tend to fire over a kilometer.
It's still actually, it's not true.
For instance, the Marine Sniper Manual doesn't go above a kilometer.
Guys, we're gonna stop there, okay? We're gonna go with Shawn Hufford because there's no way that 6 people can talk at the same time and anybody in the chat can understand what's going on. So Shawn Hufford, it's on you.
Okay, well, I apologize now because it's still dealing with Coriolis because you brought up something very interesting, Team Skeptic, and that's the dropping of an item from a certain height and it will drift because of Coriolis, and he said there's never been anything done for that. That's actually not true. Starting in the 1800s when they started doing deep bore mines, people would actually drop cannonballs down the mine shaft, and they would always hit the east wall before hitting the bottom. Every single time. So there's no wind interference. It's literally all down to Coriolis.
That's not something you can attest to.
So
can I say something?
Goodness me, genetic.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead, guys.
Wow.
Okay, remember I was talking about the Q-37 radar?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. When the Q-37, like I said, when the round pops above the horizon, because there's a horizon on a sphere, but not a flat Earth. When the round pops above the horizon and the radar takes a snapshot of that round in flight, it doesn't know if that round's spinning in any direction, what way or other. All it does is calculate based on the Coriolis effect of its trajectory in flight. The radar can't see it spin. It can't tell if it's going left or right twist or how many times or what's the how many twists per inch or how many twists per meter it's spinning. It doesn't know. It doesn't care. All it cares is there's a round in flight, and it's doing the ballistic calculations based on its size, how slippery it is in the air, and the Coriolis effect, and how then it predicts an impact point, and then it predicts a point of origin so they can do a counter battery fire. And as somebody who was in the CRAM operation, counter rocket artillery and mortar system, where we use phalanxes to shoot down mortars and shit, we definitely had to take the Coriolis into effect. And the only time we actually got to see a round flying like a mortar, when we see it through the camera of the phalanx gun. But before that, thing's been in flight for the past 10 seconds. And when we calculate for over the horizon, the round's already been in flight for 2-3 seconds before the radar even sees it, because it has to go over the curvature of the Earth before the radar can even see it. And then once it sees it, like I said, it takes a snapshot. The Q-36 radar tracks it continuously during flight, just like the LCMR until it gets above 35 degrees. Then the radar can't see it anymore. Then it tracks it again as it passes over. But the Q-37, as soon as that round goes above the horizon, which is physically impossible on a flat Earth, so the computer basically Sorry.
No, you dropped out a little bit. Go ahead. Now you're back in.
I pretty much said what I had to say.
Team, can I read something?
Yeah, go ahead, and then you read something, and then I need to address the super chat, and I want to ask you something about something you just said. But go ahead.
Can I do, since I'm the only other flat
earther? Yeah, hey, Nathan, I'm about to introduce you, so give me 1 second, okay?
God,
you give me 1 second, Nathan. Hold on, everybody, give me 1 second. Go ahead, JM. Then
if Earth were truly constantly spinning eastward at over 1,000 miles, vertically fired cannonballs and other projectiles should fall significantly due west.
Do you know about have you heard about the HARP gun?
Can I finish, please? I'm not done.
Go ahead.
Thank you. In actual fact, however, whenever this has been tested, vertically fired cannonballs shot upwards an average of 14 seconds ascending, 14 seconds descending, and fall back to the ground no more than 2 feet away from the cannon, and sometimes directly back into the muzzle.
Have you heard anything about what's called the HARP gun?
Actually, yes.
Okay, what does it stand for?
HARRP?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what it is.
Okay. It fired what angle?
Just make your point, dude.
It went straight up, right?
It what?
It went straight up, right?
The HARP gun?
HARP gun, high altitude research project. Basically, a modified. Okay, fired straight up, right?
It's an antenna, as far as I'm aware.
No, the HARP gun, high altitude research project, a vertically fired gun. Anyone online want to look it up and pull up?
He's confusing. Yeah, he's thinking you're talking about HAARP.
That's why I said high altitude research project.
Yeah, he's not talking
that's why I said
about
HARP
that
gun,
jam.
not the antenna.
I'm not familiar with it.
Okay. If anybody wants to pull it up while I'm sitting here talking about it. Anyways, the HARP gun was a gun designed to try to figure out how we could send satellites up into space without using rockets. A guy named Richard Bull invented this gun system, and I think it was down in Puerto Rico or some down in the Caribbean where they're firing this thing at. Anyways, it fires straight up. And those rounds, testing, never came back down into the barrel or anywhere near the gun platform. And those things were up in the air for 20 seconds, 30 seconds.
Okay, now let me address the super chats and then we'll introduce Nathan. We have $2 from Ben the Mike Metric. Now, before I address this to him, I'm going to ask you. You said something, and a lot of people caught it in the chat. They said you said that you went through sniper training. Did you say that or no?
I went through a modified sniper training. Yeah.
What the hell does that mean?
It's not a full course.
Well, okay, where was it? How long was it? Is all that?
I guess we're trying to figure out. We're trying to figure out what your qualifications are, because he says that he was an actual person who dealt with ballistic missiles and ballistic mortars and ballistic rounds.
Right.
He's an expert in that field. Now you've said, You've said many things. Now you've said photography. You've said mortar expert. You've said now sniper training.
I didn't say mortar expert.
Okay, that's fine. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm putting words there.
I would not classify myself as a subject matter expert.
That's fine. I'm putting the words there without that's incorrect of me. But you have made several claims that people are now saying. How many of these claims are you going to make? Now,
I have a.
Hold on. Ben the Mike Metric said, "JM Truth, get help. You're a pathological liar." Now, I'm not agreeing there with him, but that is an opinion that's coming down, because now you're starting to say that there's a lot of different things that you're qualified to be speaking on. Like, I don't even speak on so many different things. I try to limit what I talk about to physics. I don't even really talk about optics and other stuff that a lot of people will go out of their way to try to explain to people. And I'm like, well, I don't know, so I just don't talk about it.
Would you agree that there are people, though, that have studied a lot more than you?
Sure. But that's why we're asking you. That's why he asked you what was the course you took and what was what is the extensiveness of your training? Because when you
it was a 2-week sniper class. It was a 2-week sniper course at Fort Richardson, Alaska.
Okay, so you got 2 weeks.
And I realize snipers go through a lot longer training than that.
Yeah,
so
a lot longer.
Okay,
so it would be a sniper.
It was a 2.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish.
I was just gonna say sniper school is a lot longer than 2 weeks. So.
Well, that's like saying I'm CLS qualified, but now I'm a medic.
That's like saying what?
50 Aussie Globe dollars goes to Aussie Globehead. Shillbot smells JMBS. Aussie, again, man. Here in the near future, I'm gonna start doing an Aussie Globe show. Just because you're a badass and there's no shows that go on at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. So I'll be doing an Aussie Globe show in your honor, sir. And then $5 from Godless Engineer. JM, name all 3 of your movie production companies or whatever it is that you owned.
Guys, they're public. I'm not going to go through this stupid shit.
Yeah, it's...
You can look. This is dumb. Stick to the freaking facts.
Guys,
we're
gonna in this arena, people are gonna try to call you out, JM, and that's why you're here to answer. Hey,
about my degree.
I will let you answer.
My education. I'm not gonna go rehash this stuff.
Well, I'll always let you
answer.
That
stuff is...
But I'll always let you answer, but I can't deny what's being put into the super chat. I'll even honor the flat earther super chat. So.
What do you mean deny? I don't understand what you're talking.
Deny like that I won't read it unless it's being profoundly.
Oh no, you can read it. That's fine. It's your channel. No, that's fine.
Fight the flat Earth for what an ass! What an ass! For two non-American dollars. This is a euro. For $2 non-American dollars, this is a pound. This is a euro. All right. Thank you, Fight the Flat Earth, for educating me.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess does anybody else have anything else to add before we shut this part down? Because I want to end this all on a good note. So let's everybody make their last point. JM, I appreciate you sticking around. Okay, bro.
Two quick things.
Oh no, Nathan, we're not done yet. We're just ending this portion.
Yeah, we're ending this segment. So,
We'll
Jam Truth, you saw the link that I just posted a few minutes ago in the internal chat, correct?
No.
Take a look at the internal chat. I directed a message to you with a link, and also a question in there asking you to tell me I'll even just take the year that manual was released.
While you're looking that up, $5 from Wesley Smith. JM, quit fronting. You ain't Forrest Gump. We've all seen that movie already. I grew up on that movie, guys. I love that movie.
My mom always said,
"Stupid is as stupid does."
And by the way, it's right in the lower right corner of the front page.
My last video, "Stupid is as stupid does." It was about flat earthers, funny enough.
Okay, so what are we waiting on now before we move on from this portion of the
I found a manual from the Army with a specific month and year of publication for
what is it
artillery. You said that they changed it, and we asked when. How far back do we have to go? I was able to pull one up from April of 1957.
Okay,
that was an artillery manual. Now, do us a favor. Go to page 345 and tell us what imagery they are using on the lower part of that page. Because that chapter there deals with external factors to the ballistic characteristics of an artillery round.
And your whole argument for Coriolis is based on this one document?
No.
This is evidence.
Okay.
This is one piece of the puzzle towards it that you want to deny. Which, by the way, for the public chat, it uses a spherical frame of reference, i.e. a globe.
Well, be careful. Anthony Riley said sphere isn't a globe.
Let me address the super chat. $1.99, Steven Steen, Flat Earther. Team S said JM wins. I don't think I said that. But yeah, and while you're doing all this donating, why don't you send me some of whatever you're smoking on, by the way?
So it's page 300? Like
3,
really?
4, 5.
Okay. So
I'm not going to go. I'm trying to go through this document. I will concede that it shows a globe.
Okay,
I'll just concede that.
Let's move on.
I'm not going to go digging 300 pages into.
Cool. So flat earthers can't say that army manuals don't take the spin of the earth into account anymore. Brilliant. That's one argument down.
That's not what I said. I said I will concede that in the manual it shows a globe.
That's used and it's used in practicality.
And one thing that a lot of like civilian flat earthers fail to realize is if they use like fake shit in the military, it costs you your life.
Unless they've found a way to hide it.
If you don't take into effect the real world consequences of what you're doing, it could kill you.
Okay.
You don't hit what you're aiming at, and the enemy gets you.
Okay, so we're going to end it there. This is going to be the end of our not the end of. We're not shutting it down right now. We're just moving on from this point. Let me get a couple of super chats that have come through.
Can we go about Polaris after this?
Yeah, we can talk about that in 1 second. Let me introduce Nathan, and then we can have a few conversations about that.
Don't worry.
But I would like to stop. We can end the discussion for the debate at this point. We could still bring up topics, but let's not turn this into a us versus you thing. Let's let them have a conversation with us, and let's just prove them wrong.
What's up, Nate?
Akatsuki gang. No, hold on 1 second, guys. Flat Earth rebuttal. Nuh-uh. Let me go back up to there. Wesley Smith for $5. Team S is under JM's desk right now. That's why his glasses are getting foggy. Hey, man, be quiet, Wesley. How you know about my foggy glasses? I didn't think I had those on the camera. Pro Gunner, $2.79 or 2.79 Canadian dollars. Hey JM, Stolen Valor, Truth, prove your military. Again, Pro Gunner. No one here is questioning his service. So I do appreciate the money, but without proof, something like Stolen Valor is something that you really need proof of.
It really pisses me off that you even accuse me of that.
JM, let me address it so that way, because I know that it's directed to you, but it means a lot more coming from me, okay? If you guys ever have proof of Stolen Valor, by all means, you can point it out and give it to me. But the assertion is kind of disrespectful for those of us that did serve in the military. So
I've had it thrown at me. It's not nice. So.
But thank you very much, Pro Gunner, for the super chat, and I do appreciate it, sir. NASA Fanboy, sub NASA Fanboy, yes, another good creator that's on there, that's on the YouTubes, along with RapidX, NASA Fanboy, and all. There's so many good smaller content creators that are not getting shown love. So by all means, go out and check out some of these smaller channels. I'm never gonna tell you to go check somebody that I don't watch myself. And NASA Fanboy, somebody that I do watch. So, just like Shawn Hawkins. Now let me get to these other super chats before we move on. All right, Christ Puncher for 5 Canadian dollars. Can any flurf explain something as simple as the Southern Celestial Pole? That's something we should talk about in a minute. All right, Design Song. Well, you don't have an explanation. We'll let you try to explain that after we talk about Polaris, because you get to choose one on a flat Earth. Only one of them gets to rotate if it's a flat surface. That's either the North Star or the Southern Star. So you can choose which one you want to accept, and then we'll argue the point of the other one not rotating. Design Song, JM, refusing to yield to any authority ever equals intellectually dishonest. If you will yield to one without reinterpretation, name it. And then we have Jesse Fuller for $2. There's no need to introduce Nathan. Well, he's still going to get an introduction because I'm a nice guy, guys. All right, speaking of which...
I didn't get an introduction.
Who did we miss? Who did I not introduce?
Me.
Is that guy?
No, you need no introduction.
I'm just awesome.
The room knows when you're here.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So we'll introduce two people. First off, since Geis has been putting forth such great information, Geis, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Oh, it's too late now.
Geis is an amazing member of our community, and yeah, thank you for your service, sir. And I'm glad to see you back from Antarctica. And Nathan
the land of the impossible.
Yeah, exactly. Nathan Thompson, introduce yourself, sir.
What's up, Nate?
All right.
Hey, you there?
NASA's got him.
He's been having computer problems. So.
Well, I did put the paperwork request in for another bit. It might have been approved by now.
Well, we'll go for a little bit longer. Hey, thank you, Paul Reeb. Take it easy, bro. And anybody else that's left, I totally understand. It's been going on for a few hours now.
Well, while we're waiting on Nathan
I'll just address you in the chat. Yeah, the grey has literally only started since I started talking to flat earthers.
Oh, give it time. While we're waiting on Nathan to figure out his mic problems, if he's got one. Oh, there he is. Okay, introduce yourself.
What's up, Nate?
Yeah. All right. Hey, guys.
Hey, Nathan.
I think
Nathan, can you hear me?
For a while, I took one, give it back over to team.
Hey, Nathan. You're coming in really. Let me go ahead and mute him real quick.
Yeah, sorry, Nathan, but yeah, you're really robotic, so you might want to check your Wi-Fi.
I can't.
Robotic and quiet.
Yeah, I can't figure out how to mute his audio. Hey, Nathan, if you can hear us, man, we got a really bad connection to you right now. So,
you guys loud and clear. Can you guys hear me now?
Now we can, yeah.
Yes.
All right, cool. I've been taking some panel for like 60 seconds without everyone barging in and interrupting.
All right, go ahead. That's 10 seconds right there.
All right, excellent.
20.
Go ahead.
Moment of silence.
So the argument that Shawn used during the debate that the southern pole stuff lines towards the horizon is a perspective which makes lower the further we are, and that's disappear bottom rises. The Polaris is stationary, doesn't move. He claimed it did. the celestial navigation charts for the last 1,000 years assume a stationary northern pole star. And then also, you guys are cherry picking science because Earth should allegedly move under everything, not just bullets. So it needs to move under hot air balloons and helicopters.
Okay. Can we address that?
You can't just.
Can I address the Polaris first?
Whatsoever. Address whatever you want. The truth is inevitable.
Hold on. Let him finish. Go ahead, Nathan. Guys, we'll get to you in a second. Go ahead, Nathan.
You guys want to do it? You guys go ahead.
Okay. Nathan, you're coming in. It gets real digital in and out, so there's points we may not be hearing from you. But Guys has some questions about Polaris because there was a couple of statements made about Polaris in the debate. So go ahead and guys, address your questions and we'll let them answer it.
Okay. Well, since Nathan also brought it up that celestial navigation for the past 1,000 years has not accounted for, says that the Polaris has not moved. Is that correct, Nathan?
Yeah, it has never moved in.
Okay. I just want a yes or no. I just needed a yes or no. So you're saying that celestial navigation for the past 1,000 years has not accounted for the Polaris moving.
Yeah, that's a sextant and astrolabe.
Okay. I just need a yes or no, Nathan.
Yeah,
Nathan, do you know what a nautical almanac is?
No, I don't.
You don't know, and you just told me that celestial navigation has not accounted for, or says, correction, that celestial navigation for the past 1,000 years has said that Polaris has not moved.
Yeah, do you have any?
And you do not. Hold on a second. Hold on. But you do not know what a nautical almanac is.
I'm not familiar with the specific term of a nautical almanac. No.
Okay, a nautical almanac is what they use for celestial navigation. Anybody in the chat or anybody who's listening can pull it up with what a nautical almanac is. It gives every position of every known star, where they're going to be at, how they're going to move, how they're going to be at this angle, this time of day, with refraction, without refraction, how high above the horizon, yada yada, for celestial navigation. I don't think Nathan has ever picked up a nautical sextant. But anyways, if you compare a nautical almanac from, say, the 1700s or the 1800s or 1900s, and you compare it to, say, from 2018, 2017. I think the 2018 was a draft, but right now the 17 is an actual one out. That Polaris has moved. It has been accounted for moving and is predicted to move. So when you pull up Polaris in a nautical almanac, if you look for the year prior, it'll be slightly off.
So again, your argument is documents from history. Nathan. You
just told me that nobody in celestial navigation has accounted for the movement. You just told me that celestial navigation for the past 1,000 years has not says that the Polaris does not move. Yet celestial navigation does account for Polaris moving. It has for thousands of years, and has been doing it ever since they came up with the nautical almanac. You don't know what a nautical almanac is. I have used a
North Star.
No, it doesn't, Nathan.
Guys. Let him answer real quick.
Okay.
You can address him. Go ahead, Nathan.
Okay.
Yeah.
What?
Sextant assumes the stationary north star lapses. It does. If it was celestial navigate, assuming it was stationary.
Oh, hey.
Can I answer? Can I answer?
Wait, I couldn't even tell what he says.
Yeah,
I don't know how
guys.
I understood what he says.
Guys, I'm gonna let you answer, and then I'm gonna make a statement. I think we're gonna shut this down because he doesn't have a good connection, and I would rather bring all of us back on when he has a better connection, so that he can address some points. But I'll let you address it, guys, because I understood what he was saying too. So go ahead, sir.
I understood what he's saying. I have taught how to use a nautical sextant in a class. Well, actually, for 3 years down in Newport Harbor. I have given classes on nautical sextant. He's not going to teach me anything. But first off, like I said, if you're looking at Polaris, you bring up your nautical almanac, and it will tell you Polaris should be at this angle, at this time of night.
Yeah.
From the horizon, and then you do your calculations. But if you do it from a year differently or 3 years before, it'll be slightly off, and you actually have to compensate for the movement of Polaris.
No.
Yes.
I've been doing Star years. It doesn't move, dude. No, we're not.
It does move. It's not only moved. It's actually been recorded moving. Pull up, Nathan, shut up. Pull up a nautical almanac and find out where Polaris is not moved, recorded, or predicted to not move.
So you want him to use a document instead of actually visually observing and seeing.
I have used a nautical almanac over the ocean, and you have to compensate for it. If you don't compensate for it, your position is going to be off.
If everything in the sky is moving progressively across the sky, then you wouldn't have perfect circles in the star trails.
It's not a perfect circle, Nathan.
Yeah, they are. I've been doing them for 3 years.
Nathan, I've been doing it longer than you have.
Okay. So hey,
how many star trail videos?
I have.
Nathan, I own 3 sextants. How many do you own?
Hey guys, give me a second. That's a good point. I'll let you get back to that. In fact, go ahead and make that point. Nathan, you can respond to that. Jared, we're going to get to you, and then we got to close it down, guys, because Fight the Flat Earth is about to have a premiere, and I want all of us to go check his premiere out. So
no, not that fucking guy.
Yeah, not that guy, right? So, guys, go ahead, finish that point. Nathan, to you. Jared,
Pacific Ocean.
You. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, you're trying to tell me that when you use a nautical sextant, you just look at the stars and then you get your position that way?
It assumes a stationary star.
That's not what I asked. That's not what I asked. That's not what I asked.
Well, that was my argument. So are you going to attack on some side argument?
No, I asked you a direct question and you're avoiding the direct question. If you take your sextant and you point it at Polaris, you know you're doing. If you take your sextant and you point it at Polaris and you get your angle, now do you know where you're at on the Earth? With no other equipment.
Have to triangulate with another star.
No. You don't triangulate shit.
You're the expert.
I am the expert. I have used a nautical sextant going from Kodiak, Alaska to Sitka, Alaska by pure celestial navigation. You haven't done anything with the damn thing, Nathan.
Cool.
You don't just point at the stars and go, "Oh, that's where I'm at." You actually pull out the stars. You get out your clock, or your chronograph, and you time certain events. And you open the nautical almanac to find out Polaris should be at this angle, at this time of day, or this time of the evening, because of its rotation. It's going to be at this time of night. It's going to have a different angle to it. It's going to be very small, but you have to account for it. If we don't, that angle of error will be miles and miles on the open ocean.
All right, so guys,
Okay.
we're gonna Nathan, hold on. We're gonna stop there because I know you have you want to refute that, but you're not coming in very well, and I'd like to bring you on another time when you have a better internet connection. I know this was last minute, so
yeah, I gotta go too.
Yeah, so let's do this. AT2, did you have something you wanted to add to that?
Something really quick. Nathan, you have made the claim that the almanacs and everything don't state a change of Polaris. I challenge you to take an almanac from 10, 15, 20 years ago and try to use that and see if you can actually still navigate correctly with it.
We need to all pitch in and get all the flat earthers a big yacht and a sextant and just let them go.
All right, so we're gonna end that there, okay? Because I do appreciate everybody coming on. We need to do a few last super chats that came in and trying to.
All right, I do gotta go. So
hey, JM, thank you very much for coming on. And again, if you're a flat earther and you know, or even just curious about things, want to have a good laugh, if you think that the things he says is funny, go check his channel out, sub to him, give him a like. I appreciate you coming on, and I appreciate you not backing out of the debate like most flat earthers. Thank you very much for that.
Absolutely.
And JM, keep an eye on my channel in the next few days. You might like it.
Thanks, Jam.
Are you gonna do a hit piece on me? Is that it?
Oh no, not a hit piece. You're getting your own episode of First Are Idiots. It's more a documentary about you.
Okay.
Just it's fine. We'll JM,
Whatever.
thank you for coming on, and you have a good night, sir.
All right, you too. See you.
All right. Now,
Night, guys.
we're gonna go ahead and close all this out. Nathan Thompson, I'll let you go ahead and do yours next. before I get to all my final super chats. But go ahead and do the your outro, sir.
Thompson already left.
Oh, did he? Okay, so I'll do it for him. Nathan Thompson, thank you for coming on, man. I appreciate it. It was a last minute thing, and I know you didn't have a great connection, but I do appreciate.
Hey, I just want to say that ever since I started YouTube, one of the things I've really wanted to do is get more subscribers than Nathan Thompson, and I'm currently 14 behind him.
Oh,
that's
sub people.
Out of 400 people, I'm sure there's 14 of you that aren't subbed to Fight the Flat Earth yet.
Yeah.
Drop your channel link or drop your link to your video in the live chat.
There's my Premier link.
Yeah, click that link, go over there, hit the subscribe button. Let's try to make that happen tonight. Actually, guys, I want to share something with y'all. I have had a massive explosion of new subscribers. I do appreciate all of you that are new to my channel. If you're new to my channel because of one of my previous videos that I recently posted in the past 2 or 3 days, you have 60 plus videos to go watch because I've been doing this for a little more than a year now, and I've been doing it consistently. So go out, go watch, and truly I appreciate you guys. Share these videos across Twitter and Facebook and all these other places. That's what we really need. That helps us best when we when people are asking how can they help a creator the most without having to donate money or anything like that, because we understand that not everybody has that that ability. You want to help us out? Go share our video on Twitter or Facebook. Go to a Flat Earth group and put that video in the middle of all those flurfers and let them watch it.
Yeah.
Maybe we can convert 1 or 2 of them away from the dark side.
Also, sign over these to your house. Put me on your organ donor list, and the PIN code on the back of your card.
All right, so let me get these last. I believe I have 5 more super chats to read, and then we can close it out. Fluffy Toke for $5. How can JM claim he's a physicist while his 12-month online Masters of Science curriculum did not include one math, science, or physics class? To his credit, he has only said that he has a degree. He has never said he has a degree in physics. He has said he is a biochemist and a physicist. So, how you want to define those, I guess. If you want to say purely from a scientist point of view, then he's absolutely neither one of those two. If you want to say from a hobbyist point of view, he's absolutely neither one of those two.
I mean, I can write a program for Windows XL. It doesn't mean I'm a computer engineer.
I'll just say mass is the same thing as weight is the extent of his knowledge.
Yeah, you can't. There's no way you're going to be able to claim any kind of physics understanding and get away with a comment like mass is equal to weight. And that's not the case.
And let's remember, accredited, accepted degrees don't just say bachelor's of science, bachelor of the arts. It actually gives a specialty, like mine. Bachelor's of Science, Electrical Engineering. Associates of Science, Aeronautical Engineering.
I mean, if it's Bachelor of Science, Nuclear Engineering.
If it's that easy to just claim scientist, then I guess by definition I'm a pornography filmmaker.
I've told you to stop filming those things.
You're just an aficionado. It's not.
I was going to say connoisseur.
Hey, on the same lines, I saw my first porno today.
Oh my God, you've been missing out.
I was surprised. I was really surprised at how young I looked.
Shawn,
nice.
Shawn, you just got me.
Well, you know that in Britain we're totally screwed because as of July, I'm gonna have to prove with a credit card and stuff who I am to watch any porn.
Oh God.
I mean, I'm downloading all the donkey porn I can right now.
I just watched some flat Earth porn today.
I'll just say VPN, Fight the Flat Earth, VPN.
You've been watching
I just there was some flat Earth porn on here as they all got fucked.
Okay, let me get through these super chats. There's so many more coming in. Stringer News 1. Damn, Stringer, I wanted to get to this one too. JM did lie about Phi Theta Kappa honors he didn't receive, a fraternity that doesn't exist. Science education he didn't receive. Good point.
What frat did he say?
Phi Theta Kappa, I think, or I'm not sure. It's on his website, JMTruth.tv or JMTruthTV.com.
JMTruth.com.
Okay, yeah, JMTruth.com.
Phi Theta Kappa.
Oh, there's a much better website that he's on. I'll get the link to it.
There's a Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society.
And from what I read on there on the Evergreen University, they don't have named majors. You don't have a named.
It isn't
Basically-
Evergreen. Isn't Evergreen also a glorified community college?
Pretty much.
Oh yeah, pretty much. So
let me get through them so we can get over to fight the flat Earth. All right, Schrodinger's cat 499. I'm calling Poe. This guy looks just like the amazing racist. a Katsuki. I'm gonna say that one day right. A Katsuki gang. This is for Geist. Amazing work, my friend. Yes, everybody on the panel, and hey, everybody in the chat, go ahead and put your hands together for Geist View. Great job, sir. Came in and
What'd I do?
Shut shit down. You came in and shut shit down. I appreciate that.
I just have one complaint about Geist View. Get a wired internet connection.
Yes, man. What's wrong with you? All right.
So I'm just listening.
Steven Steen. I hope Douchey Cats is watching. Thank you, Steven Steen. I'll be sure to relay that to Tiger. Wesley Smith for $1. No comment, but thank you, sir, very much. A Katsuki gang. God damn, I'll get it right. A Katsuki gang. And it's pronounced... Oh, there he is right there. And it's pronounced at Katsuki. At Katsuki.
Arkatski.
Oh, Arkatski. Okay, Arkatski gang. Thank you, sir, for correcting me. I appreciate it. For $2. And do you now the way? Or
do you not?
Oh, do you not away?
The
Yeah,
chat
do
for
you not away?
website, there it is.
$2.79 Canadian dollar cents. With the thumbs up. Thank you, sir. I'm giving myself the thumbs up. Wesley Smith for $2. Nathan, who's smarter? You or Dubé? I don't know. Dubé's a dumbass. He's a I get people all the time. Well, why don't you debate Dubé? Go fucking tell him that. Come tell him to debate me. Go tell him, hey, why don't you debate Team Skeptic? Either that or, you're just too scared to lose faith in your godfather. And for my final super chat of the night, Aussie Globehead, who's, god damn, man, you're such a fucking badass, dude. Please stop making me blush. Straight up. 58 Aussie dollars. Hope Nathan the diaper around his face was tight from all the crap that comes out of his mouth, so he doesn't get any crap on his clothes. Oh man, yes, that seems to be popular with flat earthers, spewing shit from their mouth. I hope they all wear fucking diapers across their face. But okay, so I guess that's where we're gonna end it, guys. We'll go ahead and do a sound off, and then we're gonna head over to Fight the Flat Earth's channel. Fight the Flat Earth. Why don't you go first so you can get over there, and we'll all meet you there as we sign out.
Cool, thank
you. Am I gonna get a link?
Yeah, the premiere is starting now. It's not a hangout. It's a premiere. It's a video that I made.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, starts in 5 minutes. Link is in the chat. Thanks for having me on, team. The next episode is Science or Satire. I think Kyle and Steve said they're free on Thursday. So let's arrange to do a good show on Thursday. And tomorrow I'm going to be having a discussion with Right the Hand on my channel before his debate with MC Toon on Saturday.
Nice.
All right, see you on my channel in a minute, guys. Bye.
All right, later.
Bye.
All right, now I guess we'll do Shawn Hawkins. You've been here for the longest, man. You did a hell of a job in the debate. Again, I'd like to just convey just some things from me to you. Personally, I would be more prepared for his arguments. You were perfectly fine for yours, but you weren't ready to take notes on his arguments, so you didn't address some things that he left himself so blatantly open for you a couple of times. And it's not a big deal. You did wonderful, but you could have done better if you would have had more of if you would have debated before and known, hey, let me write down his what he's saying so that I can easily go back and address them one at a time.
I thought I could remember shit, but I couldn't.
I remember I learned that the hard way on non-sec when I did my first debate roulette. I don't remember what it was I was debating, but I kind of lost track of his points. I had my points fine, but I lost track of his. Yeah. So I think
that's the whole.
That's
kind of the whole point. That's kind of the whole point of somebody who's debating somebody the first time is to actually try to use a scattergun approach. Just flood them with a lot of different topics and hope that they forget most of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And halfway through there, I was like, "Oh fuck."
But hey, but you still did a great job, man. And let's set up another one. I think the crowd really enjoyed it. So
Good.
For everybody
Good.
that's still out there, please run over to Shawn Hawkins' channel, drop a thumbs up on the videos he has, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to touch his dinger so that you can stay notified of his content, because he's always going live, and it's some interesting shit to watch. He sees me in there all the time. I love. You'll find me in his chat watching his live stream. So, thank you very much, Shawn, for coming on, and you have a great night, sir.
You too. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Shawn Hufford. We'll go ahead
See you
and.
on the flip side.
Yes, sir. Have a good night. Shawn Hufford, you can go ahead and say what you got to say. You don't have to leave. Nobody has to leave, but y'all just say what you have to say so we can close it down.
Yeah, well, everybody knows me, or at least most people do. I'm the guy that started out on YouTube actually making videos doing time lapses of him where he ate. I stopped doing that for about 7 months because Jacks actually started doing their own time lapses, so I no longer had a need to. Then I went into actually doing experimentation, showing the flat Earth is just absolute crap. And then I got more concentrated on where I can point out where they're being deceptive. So that's pretty much sums me up. Oh, then of course my parodies.
No, your parodies are hilarious. I wish they got more exposure on your parody songs. They're great.
Well, I'm trying.
Okay, so Geistview, you want to say what you got to say, bro?
Well, shit. Hey, everybody. It's been about 2 years since I've been up online here. This is my second hangout since I've been back. Kind of give you what I'm doing right now. I'm sitting outside by my barn with my cell phone on a fence post. That's the best signal I can get where I'm at, because I inherit some property out here in Central California. So I'm outside Fresno. So if anybody wants to shoot me a PM, want to meet or whatever, let me know. But like I said, I just got done spending 2 years in Antarctica. I really don't have a flat Earth debunking channel except for my Quad Sphera, which is my flat Earth debunking channel. Otherwise, this channel that I use is mostly for drone photography and videos and the whatnot. But for the past 2 years, been hanging out in the side chats, listening to the dumb shit that flat Earth has been coming up with. And especially when it comes to Coriolis effect, Polaris, stuff like that, hear the same arguments. But I try and always put in the chat, when I talk about Polaris not moving, bring up a nautical almanac where it's actually been recorded. It moves. You have to account for motion. When I talk about ballistics, you can talk about artillery instead of talking about sniper shit. JM,
to interject in there, I want to say something, because you brought up a good point, and this totally passed me when you brought that up about the almanacs, and then being able to go back in the almanacs and see where the actual star charts would say things are that are different from today, and then they say, oh, well, you can't do that. That's a manual written by somebody, right? Well, your whole fucking argument, if you're a flat earther, your whole fucking argument is a manual written by somebody else, guys. Okay?
Well, the thing is, though, with a nautical almanac, if you go out in the middle of the ocean, you don't have a nautical almanac, and you just go, well, that's Polaris, and it hasn't moved. I'm going to point my sextant at it, I'm going to get my degrees, and that's where I'm on the face of the Earth. You're going to be fucking dead because you had no fucking idea where you're at. It's a little bit more involved than just pointing the sextant at the sky and finding I get this certain amount of angle, that's my longitude. You need to figure out if you have the compensate, if it's moved a little bit, it might not even move a degree. It might be 0.003 of a degree that you have to compensate for in your calculations. Things are going to be changed. If you don't account for this shit, you're going to be miles and miles off. That's why when you do celestial navigation, you use the nautical sextant, you use a chronograph, you use a nautical almanac, and you take all that together. That's how you find your position. Not just, there's Polaris, I pointed here, or I pointed at the Sigma Octantis, the cross, and you try to find your position there. Shit moves. And just the fact that Polaris itself makes a little itty bitty circle means that Polaris is not stationary. It actually physically moves. Okay. But anyways, but then you guys talk about when JN talked about artillery, and he said, well, that's just to compass the round being spun by the barrel. Then I brought up that 155 shell fired from a Paladin is a smoothbore. It has no spin to it.
Well, I tried to bring it up after the debate with Team Skeptic and Fight the Flat Earth last week with JM, where not all rifles are counterclockwise rifled. Some of them are clockwise rifled.
Yes, but what I was
Coriolis still affects them in the same direction every time.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I was trying to say with the radar. The Q-37, which, like I said, requires a physical horizon to work. It can't just go, well, that's the limit of the distance at the range that the radar sees. The radar sees for hundreds of miles, but it can only see so far to the horizon, and when things come above the horizon, it has to calculate, okay, how long has it been in flight even before I even saw it, and it takes the curvature of the Earth for that. But when the round's in flight, the Q-37 and the AFA-TAD system has no idea if the round's spinning or not. All it does is see something flying through the air. It could be a mortar flying through the air. If you watch CWIS for CRAM, the first CWIS test we did with it, where we can actually see mortars flying through the air. Mortars don't even spin; they kind of flutter. The back end of it just kind of flops around in the back because it's fin stabilized. It's designed not to turn in the air.
Well,
it just basically gets lobbed over a direction, huh?
Guys, we could continue talking about this for hours. I'd love to.
Sorry,
I'm glad. No. Don't be sorry. I have to shut this down.
It's just 2 years of pent up energy. So.
Oh, I can feel it, bro. It's
you know what? If you have
in my head right now. We're going to be bringing you on in the future as often as you'd like to come on, bro. Anytime.
Yeah, just gotta give me sorry for everybody for yapping longer than I should have, but just give me a heads up, like a PM or something like that, or. Because I got to come up from my house to come up the hill up here to get a better signal, so it does take me a little bit of time.
Okay.
So
yeah, just make sure you have a way of me getting in contact with you, so that way I can invite you on in the future. And AT2, go ahead and say what you got to say, and then let's close this down.
So speaking of that, real quick, Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, we have the Veterans Panel, which, guys, you're always welcome to. Same with you, Sean, everyone, where we can pick up this topic and any and every other topic that we have on there. And I know we got to get going. I do have the AT2 Moto channel, which is about to get quite the plethora of content released in the coming week and a half. Had to redo some audio for some shit, but once I finish editing that stuff this weekend, it's on.
Well, yeah, everybody should be checking out AT2. I try to make it as often as I can to the Friday Night Veterans Panel, and it's awesome. We talk so much shit. We're true fucking old veterans that are sitting around with nothing better to do than drink beer and talk shit. So come in and check us out. Now, we are going to end it here. I do appreciate everybody who stuck around until the end. It was a great show. I appreciated everybody that came on. Shawn Hawkins was a great debate. JM Truth, at least he showed up. At least he's trying to present arguments. I don't agree with him. I do think there's a lot of things. I do think he commits a lot of fallacies. He does hold a lot of double standards. He accepts evidence for himself that he will not be prepared to accept from other people because it violates what he thinks to be the way the world is. So,
well, for me, not to break in, but as soon as he crossed his arms and kind of leaned back in his chair like he was pouting, that was kind of like the end of it for me.
Well, again, guys, everybody, thank you very much. Y'all have a great day. If you're new to my channel, thank you so much for your recent subscription, and we will see you guys later. I'm Father Skeptic, and I'm out.